afternoon, everyone, and welcome to WMI 2025 Grand Finals today. I am one of your hosts, Killerman, Wargaming Community Manager, and I'm joined today again, as I was yesterday, by noted caster and TWA member, Blood Legend. Hello, sir.
Hello, thanks for having me. As Killerburn already said, seasoned veteran competitive player. So again, I will be hoping to providing you some great insights into what these competitive teams are up to, and I will hope you enjoy the cast.
And it's not just the two of us today. We're also joined again by our two in-game casters, the Sailing Robin and Zui Katsu. Welcome, gentlemen.
Morning, good evening. Welcome to this excellent stream. I'm Robin, aka the Sailing Robin. I'm content producer for World of Warships Legends, and I guess I would call myself a veteran player for a few years now in World of Warships in a way. And I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Zui. I'm the remaining North American representation on this stream. Been playing World of Warships competitively, primarily in clan battles since the inception of clan battles. So good to be here, casting this final day of Warship Masters for you.
Really exciting indeed.
Yes, absolutely. And so we can quickly go over what the teams will be competing for today, because it's not just in-game items, doubloons or the sort. It's actually cash prizes. So the teams today who will be competing in the lower bracket final and the grand final will be playing for a pool of $6,000 for the winning team, $1,800 for second place, and $1,400 for third place. And so overall we should be seeing teams playing very hard for these sorts of prizes. Not to worry though, for those of you who are viewing, there will be bonus codes again, which give you community tokens as well as access to a raffle to win a Tier 9 British Destroyer Barfleur. But for the Twitch drops for this final day, as you can see there, we can offer the St. Vincent camouflage in sort of the line of battle style Age of Sail HMS Victory. And so as well as those blue boosters, which right now will be very useful for you during the dockyard grinds. And so if we can just switch over to the preview of the camouflage, because I would say it's one of the best in the game. No national bias at all here.
No, absolutely. It looks gorgeous.
Much credit and kudos to our modeling and art team for putting this together with the wooden planks and the cannons firing. It is definitely one of the nicest camos we have in the game. So that's what you can expect to get by watching today's stream. But we do also will be announcing the winners from yesterday's winners from the code and raffles and such. So we'll also be going to that. But additionally, we can start with, as you can see, here's all the winners from today. And apologies, I will be reading from a list because there's a lot of people who won yesterday, thanks to how many people were redeeming the codes. So if I would just go from EU through to Asia, we have Kaman, Mugetsu 454, Antonusi, Animo Galonomi. Apologies if I get any of these wrong. Uncle William, Ruslan 74ZA, Sam582_2020, Golden Writer, Grignor, Destro 967, Uabha, Salfrecht Heast, Mallocker 8, Bavarian, Stratos HF, Nons XED, Ian Aber, KB 1980, from HK to UK, 01 Cunning Fox 01, Taurus PL 123, Chandelord 1, Side Lass Siggy, Mr. Ross, Yazva 71, H Cork, not sure on that one, Ferric 77, Soldash Fake for EU winners. We also have for the NA, Elite Corps, WDOS Me Recently, F50 Ace, Officer Tintan, Poi Spammer, Corsani Ducky, Fruta Mala, and Porkins 6. Asia, we've got Bio 91991, Commander Rookie, Taurus J0314, Sugar Salt 2020, Kawakazi Destroyer, Balance 9, John Bartsuki, Lingwei 0505, Zypho Zone, 75391 Young, Coco Green, Mega Gallade, and Quincy OVO. And also we've got a couple extra ones to go through. Do we have all of them? But everyone on that list will be receiving the Tier 9 British Destroyer Barfleur. So congratulations to the winners.
You can take a deep breath now.
Yeah. Everything's
Those are a
fine.
lot of names.
Yes, indeed.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, shall we talk a little bit about how yesterday went and
Yes.
just in general what we have in mind about the teams that are competing for third, second, and first place today? So I guess I'm just starting off. We've seen some great games from Resin and Ayaya yesterday, who will be competing for third place and for a chance to actually get up into the grand finals again. Yeah, I mean, both teams showed really great strength, previously beating the likes of like TWA in one game or knocking out Rain, for instance, in the case of Ayaya in the lowest bracket. So definitely some impressive showings from both of these teams.
Yes, I think from sort of our perspective here, we were quite surprised to see Rain go out as they did. And so III definitely have a chip on their shoulder to prove and such. And both of these teams were able to take games off TWA yesterday, so they both managed to prove that if they do make it to the final, whoever wins out of the lower bracket final, have a solid chance in this best of 5. Because you do have more opportunities to come back rather than a classic best of 3.
Most
Indeed.
definitely. I have to admit that the series Aya versus Rain yesterday was one of the most entertaining of the stream, to be honest, and also maybe one of the most surprising on the performance Aya displayed against Rain. And throughout this whole tournament, to be honest, they knocked out one game against TWA. They lost that series, but they won one game. And then they proceeded to 2-1 Resin to then, sorry, my bad, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. They proceeded to 2-1 Rain and then 2-0 CL in the loser bracket round 5, and they'll face Resin in the first game of the day. So like a lot of games coming from them, must have been a bit tiring, I assume, but also excellent display of a potential comeback from them.
Yeah, and the thing is about playing through the lower bracket like this is you get to play so many more games, and that means that you get a lot more chances to test your strategy, to get familiar with the format, to play around with your ship comp, and that is going to be a really, really big factor. Going into this lower bracket finals, obviously, playing for elimination in this first set of the day here against Resin, it's going to kind of test them, because there's no holds now. Like, you can't be saving strats when you're playing for elimination like this.
Not anymore. And then the winner, of course, of this will go on to face TWA for the grand finals.
Yeah.
So really exciting. We'll start with that game, and I'm looking forward to see what Aya has in store against Resin and vice versa.
Yes, so like while the teams are obviously doing their last final preparations and such before the game starts in about 20 minutes, we do have some highlights and replay reviews from yesterday that we'll go over. So take it away, Mr. Legend.
Yeah, we can look at one of the games we picked out, Ayaya versus Rain. They were facing each other in lowest bracket, as we already said, and we picked the second game of the series to actually review. And yeah, hopefully we can get that up for you guys on the stream. So then I shall do my replay analysis. Definitely a really intense game, because just to give you guys a little bit of a background, Rain picked like a Kleber Wolfpack in the first game, and therefore, yeah, they already made an impressive start, kind of set the tone in that first game. And yeah, in the second game they proceeded with that kind of Kleber Wolfpack again. This time it did go differently, and yeah, I think we're having some trouble pulling up the replay for you guys, but should be resolved shortly.
I mean, I guess for those who are joining us right now, or maybe haven't seen any stream from this tournament, could you guys run us through the general rules, how it works, the point system, and stuff like this, so people can get a better idea of how the comps can be lined up?
So Warship Masters is a 7v7 tournament where each ship that can be played has a points value assigned to it based on its power and its strength. And a team has a total of 100 points to build a team. So it's more a case of, do you try to concentrate your points in a few ships that you hope will have greater impact, or do you want to bring the general strength of your team up? an interesting sort of after effect of this system is that battleships are fairly uncommon in this tournament. Most teams are running a mix of cruisers and destroyers, with some of the more impactful cruisers and such being very expensive, so a lot of teams are trying to build strategies around them. And so...
Yeah, for sure. Indeed, we may be able to look at the replay of Ayaya and Rain again. So that was the series they played in lower bracket, and it was game 2. So yeah, I mean, just talking quickly about the picks that we've seen in the tournament so far. As you said, I mean, not a lot of battleships in play, and we've also not seen a lot of hydro cruisers or battleship actually in battle, since they obviously have a huge points tally attached to them, right? Ships that we did although see a lot were the likes of Henri or Regolo, right? Because these were, yeah, just ships in general that are just like sit in a really nice point bracket.
Yeah.
But here we go. So we've got that replay up for you right now. So I may go and talk to you guys about exactly what happened. So we can see here, like I said already in the preview, they were just running aggressively with the Kleber's towards the A cap here, securing the cap for them really, really early. And Ayaya not having the fastest ships, of course, kind of expecting that they were going to do this, but not being able to actually fence off the cap grab on the A cap here. So just continuing a little bit, we also see this daring here in the center.
Sorry to interrupt you. I believe we have a bit of an issue with
Yeah, I
the
think you're
render
on the
because
wrong
it's not
Oh,
playing.
okay.
So the viewers unfortunately can't see what's going on in that.
Yes.
Maybe we can
Hold up.
reset.
Maybe we can actually resolve that shortly.
In any case, that series was extremely fun because no one was really expecting Rain to be overrun so easily. Like the first game from Aya on Land of Fire was kind of a... There was a blunder which cost them the game, which could have made that series go 2-0 for them. But then they went to this second game, which really showed what Aya can do in this kind of tournament.
So now we've got the right link. Sorry about that, guys. Just quickly playing it through again. So I was talking about the Kleber's grabbing the capture point A here in the beginning, and just continuing with it. We can see the daring here in the middle, kind of already noticing that Rain is going for the aggressive cap grab, and all that he wants to do right now is gain as much info as possible. So he proceeds to kind of take a really aggressive route. It works out though, because they got the information about the really aggressive A play from Rain. And now we see what Rain usually does with this kind of lineup. They go for a relocation with the Kleber's, right? Since, I mean, Kleber's are fast, can grab the cap really quickly, but they can't really contest the cap for that much without additional radar cover of some sorts, which obviously Ayaya is bringing to the table here. They got a contesting DD, they got Des Moines, which can provide radar coverage. So yeah, that's just something that these Kleber's can't really do much about. So forced the...
Sorry, I just have a question about this specific moment on the 5 line.
Go ahead.
Is it way too risky to try and get the double Kleber to rush the demon and take it out at this point? Because they literally are in the position to do it, with the demon maybe not expecting it.
Yeah, I think it would be actually too risky, like you said, because there's like destroyers around protecting the Des Moines here. The vampire would also be able to rotate just to protect the Des Moines. You've just got a lot of hydro and potential radar info tools that could spot this Kleber rush ahead of time. So yeah, Rain is really... Rain doesn't really have a lot of options other than rotate towards Ayaya's home cap in order to actually try and make something happen there.
Especially because by rotating, they get themselves the numerical advantage, which are they're even 4 ships to 4.
Exactly.
If they can bring the Klebs over to the BC side, now it's 6 versus 3.
Exactly. So if we just continue with the replay here, we see what we're talking about. Rain kind of starting to push their Zhaos here down the 10 line. DDs are getting closer together in order to actually get towards this position here next to the sea cap. So letting it run a little bit further, we see exactly what IIA had in mind when it comes to defending their home cap, because they pair up a Daring and the Svea, which both in their own rights are really great ships for defending. They've got lots of utility, short smoke, short dissipating smoke, but they have a lot of charges, right? So they're not easy ships to push away. And they are also rotating the Daring back towards the sea cap.
But III have seen this and are now taking advantage of the fact that the Klebers have redeployed, and now that the Henri and the Des Moines, backed up by the Vampires crawling smoke, are working over the Republic.
Exactly.
And taking him down. So Rain can't rely on their battleship providing support. The Svea has his has his smoke and his heal and his radar, so he's very dangerous to those destroyers. And the Henri is just doing what most Henris do. He's buying time.
Yes.
And all of that. But we do see that we're about to see the two Klebs and the Z-52 try to contest C.
Exactly. So letting it run through a little bit more. They are trying to contest, but here's the issue. They are already finding themselves in a little bit of a crossfire. There's torps coming towards that rock from 2 different directions, making it just very uncomfortable for any DD to sit in that cap and then contest it.
Because III know exactly where those Rain destroyers are.
Indeed.
And even if they can't physically spot them, they can just keep throwing torps to that corner. The Darings have torps, the Svea has torps.
Exactly.
So, like, Rain has to hope that there's a 40-second gap between torpedoes that they don't have to maneuver. And this is also, if we go back a little bit, the two Klebers actually fall afoul of cross-torping by IAR, and both of them take a torpedo, which means that
yes, you're correct.
What's usually a very tanky destroyer, in Kleber's case, thanks to her high health pool and her friend saturation, they're going into attempting to contest down 10, 12,000 health.
Indeed.
And a Daring will happily take that fight.
Yeah. So just looking on the opposite side, something that we haven't mentioned is this Kleber here, just early game as the rotation happened, got struck by a torpedo that was basically thrown like this, which made him be at I think it was 3 KHP or something, which renders him pretty much useless, since that was their Kleber that had the legendary mod attached to it, and you would usually just use legendary mod Kleber for grabbing caps fast, or actually spotting in front of these gunboat Klebers.
Yeah.
So realizing the situation really well, IIR makes the push, because obviously they've got nothing to lose. It's only a repub and the Kleber defending against their home cap. So it's really obvious that IIR just needs to go for this play and grabs a lot of space for themselves, right? And
you can just see the rain of shells being fired at the destroyers around Seacap from the two Darings.
Exactly.
They know where they are. At this level of competitiveness, you know how to blind fire. You know roughly, if a ship's in the smoke, roughly where they're going to be. So you can just keep putting shells down range, and you only need to hit them once, or even just get a near miss that can cause the reset.
This Henri doesn't make the same mistake twice. In the first game, I believe he got caught out. This time, he's more careful. Just spaces himself well enough towards those two incoming Zaos, which obviously need to be respected, since they are able to put out lots of HE and fire damage. But one key element here for IA's defense is not only do they have this particular crossfire, but the Svea being smoked up over and over again, and having a really short radar cooldown, that is, makes it additionally difficult for Rain to just step on the cap, which they desperately need. I mean, if we're looking at the points, it's 700 to 900 to 590, right? So they need that cap. But IIR is making it super difficult for them to step onto it.
Meanwhile, the Republic is doing all he can, but Republic, as we said, it's a 32 mil plating battleship. It's very vulnerable to sort of large caliber
Exactly.
HE. He gets finally taken out, and at that point, IAI have just managed to blunt Rain's attempts to redeploy and make that play at sea, and just are able to keep them at bay, and that allows them to not only get some kills but also get the points.
Exactly. So just a great showing from IIR, adapting to what Rain showed in game 1, and just managing rotations really well in order to yeah, have a good grip on the game for the entire duration.
Yes. And we should now actually have the room up for the first round of Resin versus Aya. And they also have their picks and bans ready. So we should have this on the screen and we can have a bit of a chat. So, Hotspot and Hotspot. No
Wow.
Hotspot. And Svea Napoli bans. Well, I mean, we've just shown how well III can handle a Svea, so not a bad ban from Resin.
The
I think it's the other way around, actually. I banned the Svea themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ban a ship they do well in.
The Svea, I understand. The Napoli kind of comes as a surprise because we haven't seen that many Napolis in the first place. It's not
true,
a ship which has been picked a lot by any teams, really. It's been picked, of course, but not as much as a Henry IV, for example, or other cruisers like Svea as well. So
Yeah, Napoli. It's definitely a ship that's very unique in its potential. It's really really strong as a kiter. It's also very strong as a pushing ship. And at the current point value, which is significantly lower than it was last season, it's a lot easier to build a lineup around Napolis than before. So at 17 points, I believe it's a pretty valuable ship. And the other thing that I think it needs to be taken into account is that both Svea and Napoli, these two bands, these are ships that are quite unique. For example, if you take a Des Moines band, for example, or a Moskva band, there are kind of alternatives to these ships. There is no alternative to the Napoli in terms of a pushing cruiser, and then the same goes for Svea. There almost isn't another cruiser. I guess you could say maybe Plymouth
yeah.
has that same smoke and radar capability, but it definitely doesn't have the consistency of HE damage output and
Plymouth is also cheaper, but at the
Yes.
same time, you don't have the same cooldown as a Svea's radar, or nor
Exactly.
the smoke or the radar. You don't
So,
have the long-range torpedoes. you know,
Yeah,
like-
in our current point format, radars generally are pretty expensive, so it's not like you can supplement a radar with a second one necessarily on a flank. In that case, the much shorter cooldown on Svea means you're holding on to a cap, actually. Whereas, for example, with a Moskva radar, there is downtime between Moskva radars, sufficient downtime to actually take a cap. Whereas for ships like the Svea and the Gdansk, two very expensive ships,
Of course. However, Resin might have seen the use of Napoli on Land of Fire versus Rain, and they were like, okay, if they actually pulled this, it's devastating because nothing can stop it, so perhaps we should remove this kind of pushing, tanking, torpedo, point defense ship, SAPS secondaries and stuff. Like, maybe we should just get rid of that spear, which we could
Yeah,
actually
of course,
suffer
like-
from, you know.
A Napoli is difficult to stop if it pushes at the right moment.
Oh, yeah.
Interestingly, though, when I'm looking at the statistics, that Resin only, only played the Napoli once. So, I mean, maybe it's a case of they are planning to play that one map where I used the Napoli, or it's just a case of, again, a ship that's really strong. We don't want to deal with it. We have some ideas in mind on these maps that we're going to play, right? So Napoli is just really a thorn that we just simply want to get rid of, right?
Yeah. And both teams agree that Hotspot is not a map they want to play, which is
Yes.
always interesting to see because, like, okay, I can understand it is one of the less popular maps of this series. So, are they hoping for like Land of Fire and North to give them better opportunities? Since Hotspot can be a fairly sort of static map.
yeah,
A,
for sure.
a lot of sitting in the contest cap, and then like, do you make the play on the 9-10 line, or do you want to spend the time to go all the way around the 2 line?
Yeah, I think Hotspot in particular has a home cap that's very, very well protected. There's a lot of island cover around it and behind it. The contested cap can also take a really long time to push out of, even if you've captured it. So in a sense, it's one of the more predictable maps as far as map movement goes. Whereas we've seen a lot of different takes, like both a home cap push and a contested cap push on most of the other maps. Both are reasonably viable. Whereas on Hotspot, I feel like home cap push is very, very difficult, especially with the lack of ships like the Marseille and the Napoli that are particularly strong on Hotspot. I mean, in this case, we don't have Hotspot and we don't have Napoli, so so we won't be seeing any of that. But it's the map that has been picked the least, I believe, in the tournament so far. Teams
Or banned
opting
the most, depending on how you see it.
I think our appearance stats, it counts both picks and bans.
I got
so
you.
Hotspot is pretty unpopular. And for good reason. I think the contested cap especially is just so difficult to play around, especially with the lack of long-range radar. So, it's an understandable ban from both teams.
Indeed. So yeah, picked maps, Sleeping Giant and Northern Waters. I mean, both of these maps have seen decent amount of play so far. And yeah, I believe we will be seeing again these teams just kind of trying to get a grip on these games by deploying a really controlled strat. I mean, we don't have any of these Z42 Hydro DDs banned, so I will expect that both of the teams who also liked playing with the Z42s in their strategies, they will be deploying these kind of DDs towards the contested cap initially. And what's also interesting to look out for is what are these teams choosing in order to actually defend their home cap, right? I mean, we've seen Svea combinations in the past. Obviously, that's not allowed since Svea's one ship that got banned.
I mean, if I recall correctly, Resin are actually using a defense as a sort of a cap defender.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if Resin break that out again. Because, like, without a Napoli, which is one of those cruisers that can just kind of bullhead its way through sort of lighter defending ships, provided it doesn't take torpedoes and such, and there's no battleships. So maybe defense will play more aggressively if they decide to bring something like that again.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams compete against each other, because they've both shown that they can play these maps from both sides. So it will be quite interesting to see if we see repeats of what we saw yesterday, or are they breaking out, like, have they improved on their tactics, have they adjusted them, or are they going like, we know what works, yeah, and all of that. So just before we start in a few minutes, we do have the first code of today, which you can all redeem, and the winners of the codes, the winners of the raffles from today's codes will be announced on the EU stream on Thursday. There you go. Mistakes were made.
And we just finished talking about Napoli. That's interesting. I'm sorry.
Don't need to rub that
I'm
in.
sorry.
I can assure everyone here we made these codes before the tournament started. They're not a reference to anything in particular. Please don't be angry with us.
Yeah, I think one thing to note is that Sleeping Giant was Resin's map pick, the first map pick of the series, and Resin has shown a pretty consistent double Henri, double French Destroyer push on this map. They've played it every single time, I think, that we've cast them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. I assume IAIA has watched at least a few of the games that they've played, so they should see a double. If they see a double Henri on the loading screen, I can most imagine that they have something prepared for it.
Like the 9-10 line, double DD, double Henry push, right down. Yeah.
It's interesting though, right? I mean, if you see double Henri in loading screen on Sleeping Giant, it can either mean they're going for like a 9-10 line push, or they're trying to race into the dome,
race.
right? So
Yeah.
it's not really easy to predict when you see double Henri on the loading screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Both of the teams will just basically go with the strat that they have chosen, and then afterwards adapt once they've got enough information.
Yeah, it's just knowing what we've seen from Resin. I think both
Yeah.
times they've played Sleeping Giant, they have run the double Henri to the dome. One time it worked and one time it didn't, so I guess we'll have to see today whether it works out against IAIA.
It'd be quite funny if both teams bring double Henri but do
Opposite.
yeah, do the
Right.
opposites.
They'll just meet each other around their own spawn,
Yes.
essentially. Yeah. It is such a maneuverable ship. It's true that you can't really expect. It's not the most concealed, of course, but the speed makes
No.
it even able to rotate at the same speed as a destroyer at times.
Yeah, like Henri is like, she's big, she's fast, she can do a lot of sustained damage. She's got the reload booster for the burst when she needs it. So all in all, like it definitely has come into its own this season.
Yes, for sure.
And thanks to the buff it received recently, I guess, relatively recently, because
I
I,
mean,
I remember Henry not being picked as much anymore due to the maneuverability kind of nerf
Yes.
it got, and then recently the acceleration was improved again and stuff around. So like I
And-
understand why they want to pick that platform again.
Yeah, and notably the addition of Marseille into the T10 pool has kind of dethroned Henri as like that fast flanking cruiser. Marseille's damage output is not lower than Henri's. It has a lot of pen, which means it can be like twice as effective than as Henri against particularly thickly armored ships, and it does have the much longer range AP penetration, AP punish because of its faster shells, better
We
higher
saw
caliber,
it.
obviously. We've seen a few
with
Marseilles.
WA. Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were talking about Henry still.
Yeah, no. And in Warship Masters this time around, Henri's definitely a bit more of a popular pick just because of the point value, and that's kind of like the system working its magic, right? Marseille, I think most teams would agree that Marseille is just generally a better pick than Henri in most of the same situations. But just because it's an extra 5 points. I believe Marseille is 17 and Henri is only 12, so
to
saving
be honest,
those points.
There's also Brennus, which was added, which is technically an Henry 4 hull, except with upscaled guns, no main battery booster. So if you kind of want to have a Marseille/Henry at the same time, maybe Brennus can be an answer.
Yeah,
We've seen this ship a couple of times.
We have seen Brennus picked alongside an Henri a couple of times now. It's definitely a viable option. Especially if you're expecting ships to, for example, like lighter cruisers to show up, maybe Brennus is like a counter pick to them, where you have a little bit more penetration, a little bit scarier. So it's definitely an option. I feel like Henri in general is really, really strong relative to Brennus because there's so many destroyer picks. Having the higher volume of shells is definitely a boon when there's so many destroyers on the field.
All right. The teams appear to be ready.
Yes.
Ayaya versus Resin.
Yes, looks like everyone is ready. So while the game gets going, as this is, what do we think? I'm going to guess, I'm going to throw it out there, 2-1 IIR. That's my prediction.
I would tend to agree, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am slightly rooting for them, taking into account the beautiful display that they've showcased on the stream yesterday. So I would tend to agree with you, Ben.
Yeah, I think Aya has been a generally more consistent team than Resin. They are a really high seed team from SEA, which has historically been, I would say, the second strongest region after EU. So I think all signs point towards Aya being the technically stronger team, but I mean, anything can happen in game, so.
All right, and we already have the lineup, so let's drop into the battle and see what happens. Send us away, Zooey.
All right, on the side of Aya, spawning in the north of Sleeping Giant, it is going to be double Zhao, Petro, Gudenlu, Daring, and a double Ragnar.
That is really... I wasn't expecting this whatsoever, to be honest.
Yeah.
A double Zhao, we've seen this thing being played, but the Petro, we haven't seen much. Really expensive radar at 20 points,
sure.
almost the same as some paddle ships. And the double Ragnar, that's okay. Let's see what they have in store for us. Resin is bringing a Henry 4, a Marseille, a Venezia, a Prince van Oranje Z42, a Cassar, which I believe is the first time we've seen it in both streams today, and a really expensive Gdansk at 19 points. So a lot of torpedo power from the Cassar here, obviously with this long-range, hard-hitting, fast-reloading French torps, and the Gdansk.
Yeah, I think Gdansk makes a lot of sense. Again, this A cap on Sleeping Giant is really, really difficult to contest without a long-range radar of some sort, so both teams opting to bring at least one of them. Gdansk is obviously a little bit different, but we'll see where he decides to go. Looks like he might be sticking around on the C cap. We'll have to see as he follows the Cassard into the middle of the map. Obviously, both teams going to pick up their home caps on their way to mid.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that Aya has a much stronger mid-contest comp, though. The double Ragnar alone provides so much consistent damage output, the two 7.5 kilometer radars as well, and then also the long-range firepower of the Zhao and the Petro. Really strong anti-DD ships.
A little bit of a note here. Care Akatsuki is running a reload build while RBQ Yamato is running a leg mod Zao. So maybe depending on where they deploy, because they have split. So the leg mod Zao, what exactly does it do? Because they're sending that Zao kind of alone on the 9-10 line here.
Leg mod Zao gives it a little bit more range, so you can kite at a longer range. It also improves the dispersion a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it even more of a longer range sniper. And I think that makes sense for a kiting ship. Yeah, you want to pull as much range as possible. He doesn't really have spotting with him, so it's going to be difficult for him to actually like sit around at 17 kilometers and be a nuisance.
Especially because he's about to be facing Puma Spot from the Z42 eventually, and the Venezia from Resin, which actually has the leg mod for the smoke, will be able to just farm that Zao.
Yeah, I think
with
Venezia's
SAP.
leg mod is kind of a staple. The ship really relies on those smoke screens to make its plays, so unsurprising that even a single Venezia would be using a smoke screen, his unique modification, to improve his smoke screens.
Yep.
as I've said from Resin's side, they are sending those double French cruisers around the outside of the Thunderdome. I believe the Marseille and the Henri together, going to be headed up towards that 1-2 line. I assume they're going to be throwing the Henri into the Thunderdome with the Marseille supporting from the outside. It just makes the most sense given the difference in their guns.
Yep. We also see a bunch of torpedoes being laid down here. The Daring from Ayaya finally running its hydroacoustic because there are torpedoes on the way. Gdansk torpedoes, kind of terrifying. They're quick. They do a lot of damage. The Ragnar they'll have to avoid taking any kind of torps here because this spread looks really, really good.
Yeah, really well placed torpedoes.
Oh yeah,
that Hydro is up, but we'll have to see. The Ragnar is
oh,
not.
The Daring is not. The Daring takes one torpedo here, and it seems the Ragnar also takes one.
Is Ragnar actually floating into one?
Horrible start from Ayaya here, eating a torpedo on both of these DDs, even though the Hydro was running from the Daring.
Yeah.
Really good spread from Eagle Lance here on the.
We have to see how Resin kind of decides to capitalize. They don't know whether they hit one or two of the destroyers. All they know is that 2 torpedoes have landed.
Granted, Daring and Ragnar both have heals, so it is bad, but it's not critical. However, the Gdansk does not. So, and again, the Gdansk is kind of going to be slightly alone in here when these destroy engagements eventually happen. He does have the Prince with very terrifying guns backed up here with Boom Diada, but yeah. As the Tsar, the Tsar is spotted, obviously. Resin, Zvenezia, obviously using that smoke generator and already landing some pretty severe hits on her from decent range.
Yeah.
8k on the first salvo. So this Tsar does not really have any counterplay to this right now. He just has to run.
Yeah, we'll see how long he can survive. Every single shot hurts so badly from the Venezia, so he's just going to be kind of running for his life. There's really no way to spot the Z42 to push him away, so Mad Dog should be pretty confident just chasing the Zhao down, making sure he's giving the Venezia a good target.
Yeah, indeed. Like the Venezia smoke screen will run out, so it's just going to be a question if the Z42 wants to smoke her up to just keep that pressure on, or if they're going to play on the cooldown of the smoke event.
I feel like at this point Venezia just continues the chase. Like if they trade a little bit of HP on the Venezia, it's fine. Zhao's damage output against the Venezia. I mean, I feel like Venezia should win the trade.
They are not chasing actually. They are not chasing. Mibuki is turning away the Z42. Maybe they are afraid of a rotation, which is actually happening from the Ragnar.
There still is kind of like low information, I would say, for the side of Resin. They don't know where the second Ragnar is.
Yeah, Ayayad's Daring here, taking a little bit extra damage, being caught into the Gdansk's radar, sorry, and yeah, taking probably a salvo from the Prince Van, taking a few salvos from the Gdansk, and losing a chunk of HP again. But look at what's going on here. Resin has pulled the Henry IV into the Thunderdome, which is going to start threatening ACAP in Resin's favor.
Yeah, I think Aya knows that Resin does this, though, because you can see they've positioned their Gudin in a really good spot to kind of just harass the Henri from inside the Thunderdome. Obviously, the Dutch cruisers are the ships you want to have when there are kind of island cruiser positions that you can't really deal with.
Some really good torpedoes from the Kassar on the Gudin-Lu here. Remember, the Gudin-Lu suffers from 60-second fire duration. He will have to burn that DCP here.
Torpedoes against Aya. So they've already caught a collective 4.
Yeah, they have. They have indeed, yeah. And that's going to be a perma-fire set by the Marseille momentarily here. And the Marseille has really good fire chance. As long as this Kassar can keep the Gudin-Lu spotted, this is going to be a really bad time for Muon here.
It's going to be really difficult for him to go dark. There is an Henri's Hydro as well to keep him up.
I don't know how fast the Kassar was when he launched the torpedoes, because the torpedoes of this specific French destroyer decrease their damage with range. Yes. And look at the predictions here. 71% for Ayaya, 29% for Resin. Right now, it's not really going well for Ayaya.
Yeah, definitely a couple of unlucky torpedo hits. Henri starting to take a little bit of damage from those Gudin-Lu bombers. He's kind of wedged himself into the islands now, and that's when he is a perfect target for these airstrikes.
And they have to reset, like, he's unable. Oh my goodness, this bomb are doing so much damage. Are we looking at legendary mod Gudin-Lu?
I would be very surprised if it wasn't.
Yes, we are. So these bombs are going to keep coming. He's caught into the sonar from the Petro. And somehow Muon goes dark. Muon is safe.
The Hydro from the Henri has ended the duration, so there isn't really a way for them to spot him other than getting the Cassard back in front of his bow. And I don't think he quite has the angle there. So
some torpedoes being avoided. I keep seeing Ragnars and torpedoes, and I'm kind of scared. Just taking another one.
Ragnar is a very big ship. So
at this point, they really have to stop. hitting these torps on their destroyers here. So yeah, Payton from Resin in trouble, unable to go dark at any time soon. The Petropavlovsk even has radar ready if they really need to cycle.
I feel like they should
spotting.
definitely save that for the Gdansk.
And look at the Kassar, my goodness, being half HP here, caught into the Ragnar's radar finally, pushing this Kassar Fries here, literally half HP, running for his life.
Yeah. I believe we did have another radar popped by Eagle Lance's Gdansk in the center of the map. They caught Yitray's daring just momentarily as he runs off towards that B cap. He is actually spotted by the Z42 Hydro, though.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know how much supporting fire. It has to be the long-range shots from the Venezia, actually.
Ooh, this could be
Here it
devastating.
comes.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
right.
just a few shells connect, and now PreyQ's Ragnar is in a really good position to receive the Z42, and this is a fight that I don't think the
And
Z42
then the daring
wants to
is
take.
actually going to start landing his crazy DPM at the same time. He's not pushing away. He just wants to keep our second SAP salvo from the Venezia. Doesn't do
quite
much.
connect. As PreyQ's Ragnar has to be a little bit careful with his angle, though. He's taking a lot of AP damage from that Z42.
Here
but
goes the smoke.
I think the Z42 is a little bit too
He's
far up.
gone. He's actually dead.
Down
Nice
he
one.
goes. A nice catch from Ayaya here.
So kind of backfiring on that Venezia DD push here to try and get the Zao. They rotate both DDs here and take care of that.
Yeah, and the
of that
Venezia
push.
just was not able to land those crucial shots on that destroyer.
And now the Venezia starts taking really hard hits from the Zao's HE shells here. Is the
Yeah.
Henry still alive? Henry?
Barely.
Oh my goodness, he's on 280 still
barely,
spotted.
barely.
We
Just some
have-
long-range fire from the Ragnar
Yep.
now. All it takes is a shell,
That's
and
it.
down he goes.
But meanwhile, the Petropavlov somehow... What happened to the Petro on
I believe
Ayaya's
this
side
is just
here?
constant strikes from the Prince Van Oranje.
That's
This is
66,000 damage
Yes.
done by the Prince. Goodness, and he's going
so
down.
much damage from those two airstrikes. The Dutch cruisers have been relatively rare yesterday. I think we saw a lot more Henri than we did the Guden and the Prince Van Oranje, but I mean, they are both proving their value here in this game.
Yeah, and the Kassar here taking a little bit more risk, trying to patrol around, trying to get some eyes on the Zao here because there's... Oh my goodness, what happened to the Zao as well? Aya is losing HP left, right and center. I believe the Marseille did a lot of
Yes,
damage to it. The
this
Henry
is-
4 from the Thunderdome must have landed a pretty severe AP salvo before he went down. Payton here must have damaged that Zao extensively before he went down.
Yeah,
So
down to
Kara
4,000
Katsuki.
HP, but I don't think they have a really good way to spot him. The Ragnar is buffering the Zao pretty effectively
Yeah.
with his radar. Just trying to keep his buddy alive, runs that radar just in case, but Fries has no intention of pushing in. He's
Not
out
anymore, yeah. The Zao is healing, but that's a lot of damage being poured here. It only takes a few salvos from the Marseille to finish her
of there. Yeah,
off.
Marseille is so much damage output. So much
Meanwhile,
burst damage.
we have the Daring here from IR. Remember, this Daring took a torp, so and he has no more heals. Also,
Yeah.
he's going to still risk it within Gdansk's radar and torpedoes, which are already being fired.
There is a sliver of the cap that is outside of the Gdansk radar. I'm not sure how far, how deep the Gdansk wants to play to get this radar range. There is a Gudun and a Ragnar supporting the Daring, but
Yep,
if
has
they can
to-
hold on to this cap as long as they can, like the points are very close.
The
holding
Gdansk,
on
of
to-
course, pushing right in to get that radar range. He's going to wait until he covers the entire thing and burns
Yes.
it. Daring is spotted. The Oranger actually has guns on target. Of course, they're expecting it.
And long range fire from the Venezia as well. This could be a
Oh my
crucial
goodness,
kill.
it's a lot. Daring has to use this crazy good acceleration to evade that, not take any torpedoes, and just get out of that range. Yeah, here we go.
Nice shots from the Oranje, landing some decent shells right on the rear of the Daring.
Incoming
Airstrike
bombs.
incoming as well. I'm not sure if this is for the Guden
It's for
or
the good
for
and
the
Lou.
Daring.
It's for both, I guess, but mostly aimed at the good and Lou here,
Yes,
able
looks
to
like
reverse.
It's for the Guden here.
Out of most of it, that's still going to be some damage. Remember, these
Yeah,
bombs
about-
actually hit hard.
About 6k damage from that airstrike, and they're just holding on to that cap. Like
They
they
are.
might be a ship down, but
The Kassar from Resin actually has rotated all the way to try and support that A cap defense. So now it's a 2DD versus 1, and Daring is on 6k HP with no more heals here. The
he
Ragnar,
has to remember though the Gdansk radar has a very low cooldown. Only 15 seconds remaining until it comes back up. He has to be really careful about this push
yeah, I
into
think
the
this
cap.
is the last try he can actually make. They have no choice. They can't rotate anyone except him into this. If they push the Guden Lu, he explodes. We have some blind fire as well coming in from the Prince Van Oranje. Is it going to hit the Daring? Almost
Does
hit.
not land, but the Gdansk radar is back up. So
It actually resetted him, so he really cannot take any more risks now.
yeah, Daring he does not have enough HP to take these spots into the cap.
That is a really, really good grip on that cap. Really good defense from Resin here. The daring back to 3k HP. Venija SAP coming in. He's smoking the Gooden Lu, of course, to try maybe to push that ship into it. It seems the Gooden might try to put his nose
Yeah, and actually it is going to be Ragnar coming around. The high HP Ragnar, it's got a 1 heal remaining. Does not have any radars, though. So if they decide to contest with the Cassard on this cap, they don't really have a way to push him off.
But the Prince Van Oranje now being kind of pushed away because the Zhao is adding that fire. But look, we have torpedoes coming in from the Cassard.
Yeah.
Sorry, from the Gdansk.
And the Gooden Lu's Hydro just ended.
Oh my
it
goodness.
literally just ended.
And the Ragnar is also pushing into these torps. Might even be taking some bombs from the Oranje
Yeah,
techs, like about 3k.
3,000.
Oh no.
Amazing hit with the
No.
bombs.
These torpedoes are really bad. He's down to
Ooh.
1k HP.
Two
He takes
torpedoes.
two.
This is his final heal, and there is 1 radar remaining from Eagle Lance. He still does have range on the cap.
Oh my goodness. 4 seconds on the Gdansk radar. They know the cap is contested. They know he has range. He's gonna burn it. Is he gonna burn
he
it?
has to burn this radar now.
He's not burning it now. I think they're just holding the cap because they have the point
Yeah,
of
they
advantage.
do have Cassard in that cap.
Oh,
Here
that
is
is
the
so
radar.
bad.
Ragnar is spotted. He
But
is
the Gdansk
bow
doesn't
in.
fire. The Prince Oranje maybe has some shots over the island, but the Gdansk doesn't fire because he's out of smokes, of course. He can't risk it. Here's the fire from the Prince Van Oranje all the way there, and that's it. That's no more radar for either the Gdansk and the
Ooh, what a shot! What?
That is
5,000 damage. A single salvo from Boom Diato's Oranje takes out the Ragnar.
And that's it.
980 points. There's no way that I can come back from
The Gooden
this.
Lu is pushing its nose, but he's
No, there's not enough
perma-spotted.
time.
5 seconds left on the timer, and that's going to be a win from Resin. Defending this A-cap with everything they
Yeah.
have.
A
Wow.
really, really strong hold on this A-cap by Resin. Amazing play. Mostly Eagle Lance's Gdansk just going completely uncontested in the middle of the map.
Goodness.
Running radar after radar, preventing them from taking the cap.
Taking these 2 torpedoes at the start kind of threw this whole thing, because if they had more HP, they get the cap because there was no more radar. They don't take
Yep.
these 2 torpedoes, the game around A changes drastically. What a
Sure.
play by Resin.
And I think right there, you see the radar range mismatch there. Ragnar's just unable to take those aggressive spots against ships like the Gdansk. You take too much damage going in.
You understand why now they wanted to spend 19 points on such an expensive
Yes.
destroyer.
I think definitely is Gdansk the star of the show here on Sleeping Giant.
What a start for the stream. Let's see what the studio has to say then.
Bloody hell.
That was a really, really good game. Like starting off as IIR kind of like taking a wider approach, not really going for the contested cap. Then it looked like as if IIR is kind of coming back to it. We had the Z42 getting picked up on the 6-7 line, I believe. So it looked a bit grim for Resin at that moment in time. But then they just rotated ships around, realizing that the only really job they needed to get done is just keep a hold of that contested cap, which they did brilliantly. And I mean, yeah, that Prince von Oranje salvo, that was just insane. I mean, what a perfect shot.
And the torpedoes by
Yeah.
Gdansk consistently landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that initial torpedo volley, not taking a good chunk out of 2 destroyers who were supposed to be contesting that cap, so that Resin could play. They could stand their ground because they did have the health advantage. They had the radar range advantage. Oranje is a better DD killer between Oranje and Gooden.
Yep, for sure.
Like, granted that like the Henri, yes, he got in the cap. Yes, he helped take it, but he was sent there to die. There's no way he's getting out of that alive. But he held his ground for as long as he could, so fair play to that. Because in these kind of matches, sometimes like you do have to just make that move and sacrifice a ship to get an advantage. As you said, losing the Z42 at that point was looking a bit worrying. The Zhao's counterattack was making progress. The Oranje was starting to suffer. But I think, yeah, just the Gdansk with that extra range on its radar, just being able to keep those guys at arm's length. Doesn't always have to fight. It just needs to provide that spotting and just make that daring, make that Ragnar, force them into that one spot that everyone knows where you can just keep putting torpedoes down.
Yeah, and I think it's again, like those 2 Ragnars, they're just burning through their heals, burning through their radars a little bit too early. Gdansk having, 3 radars left to contest that A-cap, or to contest the contested cap was just absolutely crucial. Held on to those smokes and radars and just almost single-handedly kept the entire team off of that cap.
Oh yeah, and then we also have to praise the play from the Cassard here, because he rotated a bunch of times. He actually landed 2 really, really devastating torpedoes on the Gooden Lu, forcing her to kind of like, I'm gonna get away from that D3 island position. and then contesting A physically, even on half HP, after the Ragnar radars, physically contesting A and preventing the Daring, the Gooden to cap it. So also really good plays on him to just lock down that cap. Even if there's no radar to cover, I'm here, you can't cap anyway.
Yeah, and we have the render ready, so if we switch over to that.
Indeed. So if we just run through the opening scenes here, I mean, we see both of these DD groups going for the cap. Initially, there was something that I picked up on. This entire group of DDs, they just didn't use their speed boost at all. They were clearly playing for the long game, didn't want to run into some aggressive contest in the beginning, which, I mean, yeah, hindsight is a strong tool, right? Wasn't really a good idea, since these Gdansk torpedoes here that came in, they were actually really devastating. We saw both the Daring and the Ragnar, despite in spite of the hydroacoustic, both taking a torp. I mean, granted, they were traveling at this kind of an angle and then turning out fully. Takes some time. Gdansk torps are really, really fast, so...
Cassard's are no slouch either.
Exactly. So, I mean, good on Eagle Lance here with his Gdansk hitting these torpedoes here. Just basically shaving some HP off of these DDs that are obviously just contesting DDs, right? These guys will be fighting over the cap for the entire game, and just adding some torpedo damage to their HP pool. Yeah, not a good thing for Aya. We see, interestingly, only a single Zao here on the 9-10 line initially defending. Kind of works out because Resin doesn't really push a lot. Or doesn't really have a lot of ships to push for 9-10 line here as well. Both of the teams really focusing around this A cap. So just letting it run a little bit further, we see what we've already talked about here. The Henri just basically straight from spawn, looking to get into this place, wanting to get a really cheeky contest going. But something that also happened, once he goes in there, Ayaya was prepared, right?
Yes.
So they have extensive amounts of spotting tools. They were cycling the hydro, so we can see here this Gudenlu popping the hydro to actually continue to spot the Henri going in. And later on, it was the Petropavlovsk who also hydroed the Henry continuously. So Gudenlu could actually bomb the Henri the entire time.
Yeah, and the Zao's made his call for help. The Ragnar's come back to, because since they figured out that where the Veni is, and like that's got to be where the Z is.
Exactly.
And like right now, if the Ragnar had stayed at A, B cap is wide open for the 42 to go and grab.
Yeah.
So they need to pull something back to help.
Indeed. What we also see, and what the casters picked up on stream as well, is these torpedoes here just getting launched onto the Gudenlu, shaving a decent amount of HP off of it, so that he has to actually just stay back and, well, just basically hide for a little bit. Doesn't really do a lot towards Aya's overall game plan, though, because he was really only there to A, spot the incoming Henri, and B, just bomb this place here inside the A.
Sure, yeah. Like it is a, like in a regular match, it is a safe place to go. But could it have been better if the Henri had sort of done a sort of a semicircle and tucked into the island in the middle? Should maybe pull him just outside of the hydro range, maybe making it a bit more difficult to spot him and bomb him? Or was the plan like, you've got to go in there, you've got to stay there, you're going to tank the bombs while the rest of the team is like, you're holding the attention of the Guden doing that?
In general, it's always a better idea to head for this place here, just because you are reducing the amount of angles that Ayaya can have in order to deal damage. I mean, of course, they have the bombs from the Gudenlu, but in comparison, if you would be staying here on the Southern Dead Island, as you were saying, you have a lot of spotting lines, right, that are possible. So DDs from the middle or DDs from the one line are potentially having like a direct line of sight, and therefore going for that island position here on A cap is just better for one, hiding, and two, it's more comfortable to continuously contest the A cap. So just running through a little bit further, PVO here is obviously doing a good job of continuously suppressing the Petro on A cap, and now we do actually see Ayaya making a run back towards E1 island, which is really important for them because it makes them gain positions where they can deal damage towards the Henri, which is really the one ship they need to absolutely get rid of right now, since Resin is blocking points, blocking the capture point, and potentially even capping it, right? So just looking at it a little bit further, this also means that they are pushing up a radar tool towards this rock, and we see it countless of times, right? If there's a rock on some flank and you can get a radar to it, this creates a lot of space, which Resin needs to respect here in order to not lose the Cassard to a potential Ragnar Radar Zhao HE combination.
Yeah. And it's looking like both teams are getting ready. So this is Resin's chance to put this to bed.
Exactly, yeah.
Like they're 1-0 up. They won that match decisively and very convincingly. IAI have a lot to prove in this coming game, and I guess they're going to be very much more cautious with their destroyers, with their watching out for torpedoes and such. So we're going to have to make sure that the team is have their wits about them and all of that. And I guess while we just make sure we can have the code up before, so can Resin put this game to bed 2-0 and advance to the finals, or will we see this go to a full best of 3? Will ship happen?
Oh, they will happen for sure.
Ship
I feel
already
like it has
happens.
already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I believe I definitely can pull up a win on this. I think it was kind of this, like, I won't say a warm-up, but they definitely were a little bit colder here on some of these plays, taking these unfortunate torpedoes, being also unfortunate with the damage they took, especially that Prince Van Oranje salvo landing on Ragnar for like 5.5k at like 16 kilometers.
That is a crazy shot.
Like,
yeah.
Unfortunate things happening towards them, but they have the metal to come back. And maybe that was your prediction, Kilobin. You said 1-2. Maybe that's the one.
we all
We'll see.
predicted IIA winning this series, but so far Resin is proving us wrong.
Absolutely.
But teams are ready, dropping into the game. Take it away, gents.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Welcome back into Game 2 between Resin and IAI. Resin with a 1-game advantage this time. Spawning in the north, it is going to be IAIA again. Zhao, Puerto Rico, Marseille, and Prince Van Oranje as their 4 cruisers. A Delny, a Daring, and a Ragnar, their 3 destroyers. And over in the south side...
Well, hold on. Let me just talk about the Puerto Rico here. 15 points,
Sure.
I believe. Not that
Puerto Rico
expensive.
is 15 points, yes.
Yeah, not that expensive of a radar, on par with Plymouth, but brings that extra kick on these 305. It's like a mini battleship, to be fully
Yes,
honest.
Puerto
So
Rico
let's
is
see
very
how...
much a little tiny Montana.
Oh yeah, let's see how they use that ship and what kind of salvo it can do. On Resin side, it is, I wouldn't say a matched lineup here, but they also bring a Zard, they bring a Des Moines, very expensive, really trusted ship, of course. Prince Van Oranje as well, and then 4 destroyers compared to 3 on the AS side. So the Delny Z42, a Hoffman, which we have seen a couple of times, kind of this mix between the Elbing firepower and Z52 kind of hydro smoke combo, and of course a Ragnar, which we don't need to introduce that ship anymore. In terms of deployment, I'm seeing a pretty heavy Resin push on A. They are sending along Zhao Mebuki again, using once again that legendary upgrade, kind of solo on that. Maybe she'll get matched up with a Z42. And then the Prince Oranje kind of in the middle.
I think it's safe to place Oranje in the middle. Looks like Aya is doing actually the same thing over in the north, just holding that ship in the middle of the map. It does have reasonably good long-range firepower. Obviously offers the long-range airstrikes as well. So keeping it flexible in the middle of the map just needs to. It'll go where it needs to.
Indeed, and the Delny pick on both sides as well. Like we've seen Delny in so many comps plays before. Fast, has decent range on the torpedoes, really good firepower, heal.
And it has that 50mm plating on the sides too, making it extra dangerous for enemy destroyers.
Definitely. So yeah, kind of defavoring IAIA here on this, because it's going to be a 4v3 before the Puerto Rico can actually get the guns into play here. Both Delnys with their 7.4 kilometers might start to get spotted momentarily here. They are like 8.5 kilometers away from each other. Maybe they'll spot and trade some blows. It seems Resin actually gets the early C cap. And yeah, both Delnies actually do the exact same
Yeah,
mirror.
they are mirrored here. They're gonna probably run into each other over on that one line as they both turn in towards that island. They just want to see what's around. And
Yeah.
they'll just find each other.
Resin is about to meet a Marseille, however. They will be the Delny, of course, but also, yeah, that's going to be a spot. And let's see what the Marseille has in store. They're going to start blasting, of course. And look at, oh, it's HE. This could be a really, really bad hit on the Delny here. Yeah, that's
nice
it.
shot from that Marseille. He's also running that reload booster. He's gonna have a second follow-up shot really,
He's gonna
really
have,
soon here.
yeah, that's really dangerous. Resin needs to disengage that Delny as fast as humanly possible. He's already
second
stopped
shot
firing.
just goes all around the Delny. He is down HP obviously, but this is a very survivable ship, so
It is, yeah.
he should be able to heal up and get back into the fight. The Marseille is spotted and taking in a lot of return fire from the Des Moines of Resin though.
Oh yeah, and also has torpedoes to contend with. The Delny still spotted. He used his DCP and is on fire now. A double fire,
that is
actually.
unlucky.
Plus engine knockout. And it seems one of his torpedo tube also got destroyed. That is so unfortunate. One of the torpedo tube of the
that is
Delny.
a permanent kill on that torpedo tube and still taking long range damage from the Puerto Rico and the Marseille. And these are two ships with pretty good ballistics.
The Marseille speed actually keeps the Delny into the spotting here. Okay, he finally goes dark. There's still more damage being poured. Has to save this DCP for any upcoming fires, and now he has to run,
Okay,
essentially.
He does go. He feels like he's been dark long enough. He does run that DCP. Does have a heal in 40 seconds, but he is down quite low. Marseille on the other side, though,
Suffering.
has taken a lot of damage. I mean, Des Moines' damage output at this range is just
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah, he is actually going to stay spotted because of the Hoffman's Hydro. It's a question if the Resin Prince Van Oranje can actually keep pouring that damage. He is quite far.
He's not quite in range
15
to
kilometers, I
airstrike
believe?
this spot yet, but he is making his way over.
Yeah, I think they want to bag that Marseille kill as fast as possible. Hoffman has to be careful not to take too much damage from the PR or the Ragnar.
Yeah, Delny is trying to lob some shells over the island, maybe get a fire or two on the Marseille, which does take those extended fires.
And here comes the bombs. Here comes the bomb on the Marseille. It seems that they're going to be a little bit behind the Marseille, of course, still running the engine boost for another 10 seconds, has this extra acceleration, deceleration power, and she manages to dodge the first airstrike.
Yeah, Delny's not quite able to land a fire on the Marseille. I think this island's just a bit too tall.
It is, yeah, and the Marseille knows this. One of the questions I'm seeing is Hoffman tries to go for a rush or not. I don't think it should at all.
I think they're just playing this nice and slow. They have the Des Moines here. They're perfectly happy to take an extended fight on this cap.
Yeah, also the Delny being cut into that Hydro from the Hoffman. Hoffman from Resin giving a lot of information, but the Delny still just focuses the Marseille, of course. I think the Delny is just out of firing range, so he can't be spotted, which is really a smart play from him.
Just using the island as cover here, trying to lob the shells over, but it's not quite landing. Obviously, the Delny has really good ballistics on its shells, which is, in this case, a demerit against the ship.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so kind of this stalemate here happening, a lot of pressure being poured on Kerr Akatsuki's Marseille, just wiggling. And now look at the rotation from the Ragnar middle, though, trying to get some damage on this annoying Hoffman. Not really finding the mark, unfortunately, but it is also going to put some pressure on the Hoffman. Meanwhile, the Delny might even try to find some crossfire if the Hoffman pushes forward.
Yeah.
What's going on at B, C
I think kind of in the middle of the map, Preq's Ragnar has been just kind of open watering against the Prince Van Oranje. It's taken a little bit of damage from the Z42 and the Prince himself, but pretty decent amount of HP remaining. Predictions are on the screen. 52% in favor of Resin now. A big flip from game one where Resin just kind of showed eye of the business.
Yep, and A remains uncapped. This is actually pretty close because both points are literally on the same at 20 points difference here. Marseille still spotted, still taking fire. How many heals does she have left? She has a heal on cooldown in 10 seconds.
A nice AP salvo from Prince Van Oranje, actually.
Yeah, on the Des
Bring him
Moines,
down.
actually shaving him down to like 25k HP. Look at Resin's Prince,
Oh,
however.
what happened to the Prince?
I have no
Was
idea.
this an AP salvo from the Puerto Rico? It has to have been,
I
right?
think
Let's
the
take a look.
Marseille, actually, the Marseille did 35,000 damage to it
Oh,
across
wow.
her tough position.
Yeah.
Kerr Akatsuki really doing a great job at staying behind cover, not taking damage, and massacring the Prince. I think they're going to be able to back that kill.
No, I don't think there's a
He has
way
no
to-
DCP and
Oh,
a perma-fire.
Unlucky fire from, I believe, from long-range fire from the Prince Van Oranje. Set him on fire.
The Ragnar,
He does
perhaps?
go dark.
Goodness
just
me.
about far enough away, but there is a final Puerto Rico shot coming in.
Incoming AP. Remember, the Prince van Oranje has a 60-second fire duration, so this fire ticks for a long time, and it might be the end. He doesn't have a DCP for another 22 seconds.
Oranje does not have
He
the
does not.
60-second fire.
My apologies then.
Guden does, but Oranje doesn't. So he will escape on very, very low HP. Probably going to have to be an airstrike princess for the rest of the game.
Quickly having a look at the C cap here, we have Ayaya, which has pushed the their Prince of Van Oranje and the Daring all the way down to the home cap of Resin. They have a Zhao really, really overextended here into that kind of 1v2 fight. Oh my goodness, this could be the kill shot.
AP.
Yeah, slowing down right on time not to get death struck here.
Nice shot coming out of Mabuki Zhao, about double the HP.
Oh
here.
goodness, the Hoffman rushed the Marseille. He did in the end. Resin's Hoffman actually pulling the trigger here on this rush and killing the Marseille. Now smoking up to try and survive the Delny. Insanely good play from Resin here. Literally kind of cleaning that A push. They're going to instantly put the Des Moines in the cap to try it and offset that C positioning. Meanwhile, the Zhao finally goes down from Aya as well.
Yeah,
Resin gets a double
over-aggressive
kill.
here. Hoffman does go down to a final shot from the Marseille. I believe it was a fire that he lit right as he died. But I don't think there's any way for Aya to contest this A cap anymore. The Puerto Rico has just peeled off straight down the middle of the map.
Can they actually finish off Mebuki in the Zhao here? I don't believe so. Meanwhile, the Puerto Rico, under a tremendous pressure, is going to have to deal with the Des Moines literally pushing its broadside. It's going to be a nasty crossfire on the Puerto momentarily here if Des Moines keeps pushing forward.
Des Moines has to be careful showing his nose around that island too, though.
Well, the Puerto
Rico
is shooting HE at the Ragnar
firing
right
HE
now.
right now. Does he know the Des Moines is coming around? I'm not
no
sure
idea.
he does.
I don't think he does, no.
His guns are not turned. Puerto Rico's guns do not turn particularly quickly. As long as Des Moines can make the turn around the island, this Puerto Rico is not long for this
It's
world.
also a leg mod Des Moines, so he can dictate how much... Oh, he just goes for it. This is going to be a brawl, and I don't think the Puerto Rico can survive for
Puerto
very
Rico
long.
is not in a great position here. There's nowhere for him to turn.
No.
Broadside to the Des Moines. The Puerto Rico's Citadel is notoriously difficult to hit, but
It
just
is.
raw AP penetration damage is going to be sufficient here.
An angry Des Moines on your
HP.
broadside will eventually kill you. Meanwhile, look at what's going on with the Z52 Ragnar versus Z42 here. Trading blows. They're going to be able to bag Eagle Lens as a kill. Can they trade with the Ragnar, however, is the question.
There is some long-range fire coming from the Prince van Oranje. Again, Boom Diada not quite able to do the same magic,
Oh,
but
goodness,
the
the Zhao
long-range shot
finishes
from the
off.
Zhao finishes him off. Mabuki did have to get himself spotted here to do that, though, and he's going to be taking fire from the Prince van Oranje on Ayaya's side.
Ayaya is losing the Puerto Rico right here for either the Ragnar or the bombs, and while Ayaya still has the cap control with B and C bagged, I'm afraid that they keep holding the points, like they're just bagging the kills. It's literally a 5v3 right now. Delny on Delny, basically violence right now, with Ayaya on the advantage with the HP. Big 6 TV has to kind of run away and maybe forfeit the A cap to Moyu here.
Yeah, and remember, he does have one of those torpedo tubes
But the Des
completely
Moines
destroyed. The Des Moines is
coming back
providing
around.
some supporting fire. Moyo's down to about 10,000 HP. I feel like he should have taken the rock position on the A cap so that the Des Moines doesn't quite have the firing angles on him, but I think he
this
was
is
just
really
trying to take the 1v1 against Big 6, and he wasn't able to find it.
Des
Now
Moines
they're
does
down
not have
to
radar though. Des Moines is on cooldown for another 40 seconds, and Moyu managed to actually get dark, but they traded the HP difference between the two
yeah,
Delnys.
and actually Moyo does have a heal coming up. Should probably run it right about now. Yep,
Yeah,
as
they
Big
have the
6
cap advantage, so they don't need the A cap really. He has to run at this point.
Yeah, he just wants to isolate this into a 1v1. I feel like that's exactly what he wants. Big
Ooh,
6
but
is
Big
going to
6
come around the
reversing.
island right here.
Oh my goodness, are they gonna actually spot each other? It's so close!
my.
The Des Moines, of course, on his tail, ready to oh yeah. I think he's literally, he knows it's a 2v1, he has to reverse, and here goes the spot. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the guns ready.
Oh, Moyo's gun's not actually
No.
prepared here for this spot.
And
I
the
think he
Des Moines,
was
of
expecting Big
course.
6 to come around the other side. Here comes the Des Moines salvos as well.
Oh, if he can trade the Delny before he does from the Des Moines, it would be actually really good.
Yeah, he's wiggling well here against that Des Moines. Big 6 just needs to duck behind this island.
He needs to survive, yeah. And Moyu now has to dodge these 2 or 3s, very angry 2 or 3s. And he's kind of stuck between the border now. This is going to be just how accurate this Des Moines can be. The
Yeah.
Prince van Oranje all the way down to the 9 line.
Yeah,
on
the Prince
10K
van Oranje,
HP.
I think, took an AP salvo from the Zhao. He's trying to finish off Mabuki before he gets traded up, but another AP salvo coming from the Oranje
Delny
is
going
not quite finishing him off.
Goodness me, Delny going down. Yeah, Delny going down by the Des Moines. So A cap is completely secured by Resin.
Yeah, and Aya's Prince von Neuron is going to go down to the Zao with all the crossfire between the two heavy cruisers on the side of Resin. Just too much for the Prince von Neuron to bear. And there is only a Daring left on the field for Aya. Very, very convincing win here from the side of Resin. Let them have the caps. We're just going to go for the kills. And Daring, not a lot he can do about
Daring
this
kind
now.
of getting chewed up here by the 150 from the Ragnar. So Resin is actually going to take a 2-0 and kick out Ayaya from the tournament. After such a nice play against Rain, they unfortunately fall to Resin's just better plays, better defensive plays, most definitely. Only losing two ships in the process.
In game one, we saw extremely good Gdansk positioning. Really just didn't have any answer on the side of Ayaya. In game two here, I think we really have to point at the cruisers of Resin this time. The Prince von Oranje and the Zao doing so much work, holding off a push. The Des Moines, obviously, on the other side of the map. Just
cleaning house.
As long as there's no 30mm overmatch on the field, the Des Moines is just such a menace. So.
Yeah, completely riconed the Puerto Rico's push down the middle. Yeah, quite unfortunate, but they also just had the better answers on whatever Ayaya was trying to pull off. The Marseille play was really strong, actually.
Yes, I think the Marseille positioning was really good. Unfortunately, sometimes you just get rushed. It happens. But I think a really strong position from him. They did a lot of work against the destroyers on the side of Resin, but they were just able to keep the Delny alive. Ragnar obviously playing his heart out in the middle of the map and then rotating back over towards the home cap to meet the push.
Anyway, enough yapping on our side. Gentlemen, please take it away.
That was decisive. I have no other words to describe that sort of fight.
No, I mean, just Resin showed us once again that we were totally wrong with our predictions. Proceeds to go 2-0 against Ayaya. No, I mean, strong showing for sure. They have shown that they really greatly understand exactly what plays needed to get made on that Northern Waters A cap. You know, Hoffman again going for that contest rock, making it really difficult, keeping the Marseille spotted. And overall, I mean, just a really impressive showing from Resin. I mean, we've seen them in this tournament before, taking a game off of TWA. Other games also have been rather close. So, no, really well done.
It was also kind of a rare game where the kills didn't lead to the game reaching maximum points.
Yeah.
Like, Resin killed every member of IIR's team. And even though IIR had the points lead for a good amount of the time, and right up basically to the end, I think even when IIR were down to one ship, they were still technically going to win on points because of their points lead. And so I think this is just like, they say, like the Hoffman positioning, the Hoffman making the rush. Mm-hmm. You don't really think of those sort of big German destroyers as rush boats. But like I said, with the Delny dropping back, the Puerto Rico moving into the middle, there was an opportunity there. They took it, they took advantage of it, and they profited massively from it. Even though their Delny at the start of the game definitely got the worst of the trades. The fact that he was able to keep his ship alive, keep his ship combat effective to an extent, torpedo tubes being destroyed and all aside. And yeah, no, just managing to husband their resources well. Even like their kiting cruisers managed to survive, drawing II in and just taking them out one by one.
No, for sure. I mean, great stuff all around. I hope we do. I think we do have the render ready already, so we'll be able to take a look at this game in a bit more detail, run you through exactly what happened, look at the deployment, and yeah, here we go. So starting off with the deployment, both teams investing heavily into the ACAP here, and one thing that needs to get pointed out here is Marseille takes the fast route, but gets spotted in the meantime, right? Obviously, Resin is ready for exactly this. They also have some spotting tools that are able to just check out what's coming on the one line. And yeah, what we can actually see here is the Marseille on approach just getting chunked down significantly, which is not something you want to see. Yes, Ayaya picked the Marseille and went the quick route in order to get towards the rock. But yeah, you see some teams actually smoke this approach quite a lot, also in just other competitive formats, exactly because of this reason. You've got some fast ships on the opposing side, and all of a sudden you're spotted running towards the rock, and that's never a comfortable situation. So yeah, Resin taking advantage of the crossfire that they are able to create, and chunking down the Marseille to basically a third of its health. Sure, Delny does take some damage in return, right? But Delny has a heal, he can recover, and on the opposite side, Marseille is now stuck, right? Hoffman constantly spotting. I mean, not even with Hydro, just proxy spot most of the time, right? And the Des Moines, whenever the Marseille is peeking on the right side here, he's just shipping some HP off of it. So, in general, this is a start that IIA didn't really want it, didn't really hope for, because one of their capital ships that they invested into the one-line rock here is now stuck, and they theoretically have the worst setup for contest, simply because of this HP difference for now, right? So if we just continue, we already see IIR kind of realizing the situation that they are in, pulling the Ragnar into the center, moving the Daring over, Zhao is pushing, PVO is pushing, so clearly realizing, well, we need to make a play for the C-cap here because A is looking pretty grim. So that's exactly what they do. Unfortunately, if I stop it right here, this Z42 is a really good pick, because now he's in a situation where he can just smoke up, and he has the Hydro range edge over the Daring, and PVO and Zhao can obviously not help in order to spot the Z42 inside the smoke screen whatsoever, right?
Yeah, and this sort of situation at this moment, it does highlight that III really struggle to put ships down. Like, they cripple the Oranje, they do a bunch of the Downey, they damage the Des Moines, but they're never in a position to put a ship down.
Exactly, like talking about the PVO here, just going back a little bit.
He's full health there.
He's full health here, and we see this Marseille cheekily reverse in order to actually get this shot in. So he trades some of his own HP for a huge chunk of HP of the PVO. So
but it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. This could have been like a major turning point potentially here.
Yeah, because killing him means that the Rico isn't in a 2v1.
Exactly. So killing him would have meant that there's some of the pressure off of Ayaya's shoulders just because they've killed the ship, got some points in the back. But overall, I would say even if you kill Prince Vanoranje here, this Marseille is still in trouble. And I mean, we will see exactly why in a few seconds here. Just letting it run through a little further. Obviously now is exactly the time when they say, okay, we're committing to getting rid of this Marseille, because if we get rid of this Marseille, this means we have unlocked ourselves the A-cap, right?
I wonder if the Hoffman went because the Downey lost his torp tubes.
I don't think he was aware.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't aware, but I think it's just they realized that this is the play they need to make. Sure, the Hoffman died for it, right? But it was worth it in the end, just because now no more ship on the no more ship on the rock. Therefore, Des Moines, Delny can just own this flank basically.
I'm sorry, Killabin, you meant Resin's Delny lost a torpedo tube.
Yes.
Maybe because the Hoffman was full HP and maybe would have had more chance to survive the Marseilles.
No, of course, but I'm curious,
Downey.
like, maybe risk the lower HPDD, because I can guarantee, having been in competitive matches like this, if our destroyer player loses a torp tube in the first fight, you know about it. There's a lot of words being said when that
Yes,
happens.
yes.
That is correct. So this is obviously also something that plays into this whole situation here. So yeah, just letting it run a little bit further. I mean, we can see now IIA is in a really desperate place, right? Because they've lost control over the A-cap. They have to go for some Hail Mary plays. Going back a little bit. Obviously, Zhao needs to push in order to make something happen, because the setup here with the Z42 alone works really well for Resin. Doesn't work out. Gets caught broadside here in front of the Zhao. And yeah,
Zhao's AP, do not ignore it.
No, for sure. I mean, Zhao just finishes him off quite handily. And from this point on, it's basically just cleanup for Resin. They got themselves into a advantageous position. Sure, Ayaya does have the 2 capture points right now, but I mean Puerto Rico got caught by the Des Moines. That's not a fight that you can win in a Puerto Rico. And overall, yes, Delny does try to make something happen here, but overall it just doesn't work out, right? So this is just Resin picking up the scrap and finishing Ayaya off in quite impressive fashion.
Yes, no, absolutely. So I think it's just one of these games that where the Resin, they just, like, watching it, like, I thought Resin were on the back foot at the start. But
Yeah.
they just, over the course of the game, they made the hits, they got the positions, they made the right choices at the right time, and were just able to pull this game back.
No, for sure. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that I believe that Resin just had the better setup for the A-cap here. Because you see the Hoffman being able to go for that rock without really suffering any major damage. But on the other side, Marseille committed to it, got chunked down to a third, and from then on it was basically only problems. They have a cruiser just stuck on the E1 rock while needing to go for some rotation over to the seaside, because now they've just realized, well, we can't really fight for A anymore, and if you do that rotation but you have to leave a ship there, I mean, that's never a good idea, and that's never a situation that you want to find yourself in.
And I think at the end of the match, I think Resin's surviving players combined HP is less than a full health cruiser.
Yeah.
Like, and all that. But while the teams are getting ready for the next match, which should start in about 25 minutes, we have a bit of a player and viewer request for you all on Twitch. We have a viewer survey that we'd like you to fill out. It's always good to hear from you, like what you like from these sort of casts, what you don't like. So that will be posted in the Twitch chat. Please do fill it out. It is very helpful for us. So we all agreed that we were expecting this to go 2-1, and not the way any of us expected.
Yeah.
So Resin will be going into the grand final with a very big chip on their shoulder. They've beaten the Doubters. They have taken a game from TWA, but it's a best of 5 now.
And they're going to face them again, in potentially 3 games or more. So interesting to see. A bit of a shame for Ayaya because they were kind of on a really, really good roll. Like much more wins than losses, of course. And beating Rain is no easy feat, yet they've done it. So they were probably on a good hopes. Unfortunately, Resin denied them that luxury.
But coming third is certainly something to be very pleased about.
Nothing to scoff at.
for sure.
Yeah, the team will obviously get their prize pool and all of that. So all of this effort that they have been rewarded. They would have liked to have gone further, obviously. Everyone always does. But third place in the sort of games that they've been playing, definitely deserved.
So TWA versus Resin.
Yes.
Did we expect this whatsoever?
I can't say I expected Resin
No.
to make grand finals. When at the beginning of the tournament, there's so much competition in this tournament. We've had the perennial, the C threat, right? Has always been. I think as I said before the match started, I think I would say that most of us agree that SEA Asia server has historically been the second strongest server in competitive play after EU, obviously. But unfortunately not able to bring a team to the grand finals. This time it is going to be an EU versus NA grand finals.
Like the good old days.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and so I guess to mark this sort of surprise result, we do have the next code of this cast, so if we can have that up for people to enjoy. And again, as we say, these offer you 250 community tokens and enters you into a raffle draw for the Tier 9 British Destroyer Barfler. Today's entries, the raffle for that, will be drawn and announced on Thursday and announced in the official EU stream this coming week, which is also the anniversary update. So make sure to check that out. Yes, and yes, we decided to sort of theme these codes around sort of the classic stream and Twitch topics of yes, the drops are on, if not, just refresh. But I guess we can start. 'Cause I saw a couple of people in the chats recently talking about King of the Sea, like the big usual, like the annual big tournament. and all of that. The 9v9, no points, may the best team win, and normally we have a sort of a nice camouflage to go with that. We had like the North Carolina, the Prince Eugen, the Harold and Lou, the Vermont, which I know is often a favourite.
Oh yeah.
And this year is no different. So we are very pleased to show off the King of the Sea camouflage for this year will be for Tier 10 Italian battleship Christopher Colombo. And I'm sure you will all enjoy it as much as we do. So we just have that up on stream. The sort of classic, sort of antiquity, ancient Rome, all of that. You can actually see this camo in the British Museum.
Is it ancient Rome or ancient Greece?
Ancient Rome.
Fair enough.
But then again,
Makes more sense this time.
You would ask the Romans that it's theirs, and the Greeks would say it was theirs. Mars and Jupiter and all of that.
Some nice sand detail spread
Yes.
over the decks here.
Our art team, again, knocking it out of the park with all the attention to detail.
The
Yeah.
columns, pillars for the antennas are really good. The gargoyles actually spit water, I believe, in the
Yes,
port.
they do.
And of course the Italian Navy flag on this beautiful ship.
It is and you will be able to get this while King of the Sea is on later this year.
That is a really cool looking skin again.
It is very nice indeed.
Absolutely. Just adding to the already existing King of the Sea camouflages that also are absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, huge thanks again to the art team. Great job.
Important to note, the ancient ruins do not block your turret angles, just in case anyone gets worried. Yeah, no, I mean, like the like to make these sorts of camos, the team's got to like figure out the theme, then put it together, and like does it work and all of that. So again, like these aren't. This is a labour of love for our team, and we hope that you will all enjoy it as much as we do. So the picks and bans for TWA Resident are currently running. So as soon as we get that, we will go over to them. But for more King of the Sea information, the regional qualifiers will be played on the 1st, 2nd, 8th and 9th of November, this year obviously. And the playoffs and such will be after that. They will be the 12th of November, and then international will be played on the 15th, 16th, 22nd and 23rd of November.
Yeah, I mean, King of the Sea, just a staple tournament. We all looking forward to it again. There you can see the great teams that are obviously now in Warships Masters, also just clash again in great fashion in the King of the Sea. So yeah, just really looking forward to it. It's always great fun.
Yeah, and we'll also have some flags to go along with King of the Sea. There's the classic sort of like winning flag, viewer flag, the participant flag, and as well as the badge and such. So again, looking very much forward to it.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, by the rules, us wargaming staff can't take part in the tournament.
Do we get the camo though?
No. Watch the stream.
Will do.
So yeah, so that is what you can expect to sort of come along with King of the Sea in November. But hopefully we're just waiting on the information regarding TWA and Resin, because obviously these teams, they want to make sure that they can give themselves the best possible opportunity to win this, because
This is the grand finals now.
yes, like I said, because obviously we run a double elimination. If Resin beat TWA in the best of 5, we do go to a best of 3 as well. So we could see up to 8 games in this set, which that's a lot of
marathon.
games. Like teams, like players will be struggling. Energy drinks will be consumed.
Yep.
Make sure to time your bathroom break so you're not halfway through a set. All that kind of stuff happens in these sort of very stressful moments. But we do have the map picks. We're just waiting on the ships right now.
Oh, all right. So yeah, maybe we can already talk about those.
Yes.
So, I mean, what's the general theme here? What do you guys expect as we go into this grand final of Warships Masters, Resin versus TWA? So what's your general impression, guys?
Well, going into the best of 5, the main thing that's different here about the grand finals is, again, it is a best of 5, which means there are no map bans. The teams have to be prepared on all 5 of our maps in the map pool. There is no permanently banning hotspot. You have to play it.
That's a really good rule, actually. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah.
It's a best of 5. There are only 5 maps in the pool. You play all of them.
You have to play.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, you have to potentially play all of them. So there is no. I'm not playing this map this tournament. You do have to play every single one of the maps, provided they get to a game 5, which obviously Resin's going to have an uphill battle going against TWA. I mean,
well, they technically beat them once.
they did take a game off of them before, but TWA, I mean, in a best of 5, this is
it's rough.
Historically been the strongest team, I would say, in best of 5s. Recently, obviously, Rain has been making headway into them, taken a couple of tournaments off of TWA's shoulders, but they're not here today. It is Resin instead.
Indeed. And TWA kind of in this kind of winning streak. Even if they get defeated in this best of 5, they still have a chance to claw it back on the best of 3, as Kilobin mentioned. So it can either be a quick 3-0 and that's it, or as Bin said, it can go to an 8-game marathon where both teams will really drain it out.
Yeah,
so
and actually, speaking about hotspot, we are guaranteed to see it in this set. So I don't think we cast a game on hotspot yesterday. We did not cast a game of it today either because both teams banned it. But it is going to be the second game in our best of 5, which means we are definitely seeing a hotspot game finally.
Yep. And we're starting with Sleeping Giant. We've seen a bunch, of course.
Yes,
maybe less so with TWA.
I think Resin has definitely been very happy playing Sleeping Giant. They picked it the first game of the last series, won there with on the back of some lucky, but maybe some predicted torpedoes. But they are very comfortable on this map. They seem to play it the same way every single time. So I wonder if TWA has something prepared for that kind of Henri rush strat. Maybe an Henri of their own, maybe something like the Guden Lu like before.
Maybe a battleship.
We have forgotten about those.
Yeah, they kind of ceased to exist in our minds,
Yes,
didn't they, a little bit, because they are so expensive. Yeah. The cheapest battleship, as a little note here, is at 17 points, which is the same price as, for example, a Napoli, let's say. Yeah, and that battleship is Slava, which is not particularly good. Yeah,
you can bring some very powerful cruisers at 17 points, whereas the battleships that are available for 17 points are the Großwerker first, the Preußen, the Republik, the Sicilia, and the Slava. Yep.
We have seen the Republik in really powerful fashion.
Yeah, Rain really liked the Republik pick. It's a really cheap battleship, provides that big HP pool. It's not the tankiest of armor schemes, but it does have those 431mm guns, which means it overmatches 30mm armor that most heavy cruisers have.
And of course, the Cristoforo Colombo being the most expensive one at 28 points, that crazy legendary mod, SAP power, just a 360 turret, the smoke screen to escape. I mean, we've seen what the Colombo can do in the previous cuts, for example. So yeah, hence why it's one of the most expensive. But maybe they just, again, will kind of follow the same trend as this tournament so far. Maybe not bring any battleship, bring just more cruisers, more agility, more versatility to the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's we'll see. I mean, lots of versatility probably being shown here in all of these five maps. You guys mentioned the battleship picks, right? And I do kind of expect people coming back to these battleship picks now. I mean, it's a best of 5, right? So in general, best of 5, you've got a little bit more leeway room, right, for some creative ideas. Because, okay, I mean, you you drop a game, it's not as terrible as just in general in the best of 3, right? Because if you drop a game, you're immediately on match point. So I do expect that both teams will try to somewhat surprise the other team here.
You are expecting some experimental stuff.
No, for sure. I mean, teams specifically have some of the spicy ideas that they usually save for situations like these. TWA obviously being in a little bit of a favorable position because they didn't have to play so many games compared to Resin, right? So Resin had to use a couple more strategies that they maybe wanted to save for a finals situation like this. But overall, I mean, we've got 2 really dynamic game maps in Game 1 and Game 2 with Sleeping Giant and Hotspot. And yeah, like Zui said, I'm also looking forward to seeing some action on Hotspot.
Yeah, Yeah, and actually, speaking of hotspot and battleships, I feel like this is one of the maps where battleships can be used more effectively. Unlike the other maps, there's a lot of open water to play around. Battleships have really, really strong positions between the two caps where they can kind of leverage their guns on either side of the map. Reduces a little bit of the vulnerability of the battleship, which is, it's kind of hard to move it around. Obviously, there are some battleships that where this is more of a strength. You have obviously the Republique that Rain liked to use. You have ships like the Rhode Island, which we did see. And like the Incomparable also at 19 points alongside the Rhode Island. There are some fast battleships that can definitely be a lot more flexible, but on maps like Hotspot, maybe you don't need that extra speed. Maybe you can go for a cheaper battleship that provides better gun power, better survivability. There's a lot of options there.
Sure. And we now actually have the ship bans as well.
Oh, there they come.
TWA have banned Svea, and Resin have banned Des Moines.
Oh, all right then.
Interesting.
The Des Moines ban actually hurts both of them
Yes,
pretty
indeed.
significantly.
I believe it's a ban that we've seen in the previous series of TWA and Resin before, where Kinemod had to actually go and play the Salem, and we had the situation where Kinemod wanted to go for C-Cap contest, got caught out by Gdansk torpedoes, stuff like this is just going to happen, right? So maybe just continuing with that ban that they previously had some success with. Players are obviously feeling really comfortable with a ship like Des Moines with the radar and hydroacoustic, but obviously if you want to go for a similar ship like Des Moines, it's going to be Salem, and Salem has to choose in between hydro and radar, right?
Yeah, and the radar that Salem does have doesn't quite cover the same ranges
8.5.
that
Exactly,
Des Moines does.
exactly.
And on some maps, that difference is huge.
It is massive indeed. I mean, what do we think about the Svea ban from TWA here? Do we think that they might want to run maybe a more destroy heavy comp, maybe more Klebers? The Svea being this essentially stealth radar with that utility to quick smoke the torpedoes, which are nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Svea, as we've seen in the past, is like a really nice defensive tool. You've got the smokes that are coming back super frequently. You've got the radar that also has like a really reduced cooldown. So I believe TWA just picked up on these strengths of the ship and said, hell, I mean, if we want to just deploy some really aggressive strats, something that we really do not want to run into is like a Svea and then just add any other DD combination to it, right?
Sure. At the same time, though, we did see Resin is very, very comfortable on that Gdansk. They're the exact same point cost, actually, the Svea and the Gdansk at 19 points. Provides a smoke screen, has reasonable gun power, has that long-range radar, quick reload as well. And they did use it to quite good effect on Sleeping Giant, this first map of the series. So that is definitely something to consider, that when you can't play the Svea, the Gdansk is a reasonable alternative.
Sure, and like we also now have one of the replay renders from their previous best of 3 against each other. So we're going to go quickly through that, see if it gives us any clues as to what we can expect in the beginning of the grand final.
Yeah, so we are looking at one of the games in between TWA and Resin here. That's on Northern Waters. The game that Northern Waters is a map that we obviously will be seeing as well, since it is game 3, so it's a guaranteed. Just quickly looking at this again. We see the usual deployment towards the A-cap here, something that we've seen already from Resin, right? The standard Hoffman-Downey combination with the radars close towards the A-cap, which aims to really just get rid of any opportunities for the opposing team to grab the E1 rock for themselves. So here on the other side, it's a 3-ship combination here. Obviously, we saw the last time Resin did commit a little bit more towards the A-cap, but here they were a little bit worried that TWA might just do some home cap rush, right? In order to defend that really well, they just deployed 3 ships over here. That was the one game where TWA then just realized that committing to the one line here isn't really something that they want to do, and comparing what we are seeing right now on the screen with what we just saw in the IIR versus Resin game, you can see why TWA is one of the best teams, because before even committing the Henri, they decide it's not worth it, right? This plan is not going to work. They set themselves up for it, but they realize pretty quickly that's not an option for us. So we need to come up with an alternative, and that's where we see TWA just do this huge rotate towards the C cap here, just basically saying, okay, we need to create another win condition for ourselves, and that's exactly what they do. Just basically rotating lots and lots of forces through the middle of the map here and setting up the push. Here we had the situation where the Grozavoy just wanted to stall out for a little bit of time. Just played with fire a little bit too much, actually got punished for it. Something that we have already discussed yesterday. We said it might not have been necessary. But overall, yeah, that's obviously a good pickup for Resin, who have invested heavily with 4 ships here to actually keep a hold of the A cap. So that kind of works in TWA's favor though, since Resin now is stuck with these 4 ships on the A cap while the play is being made on a completely different side, right? So what we can now see is TWA just really shoving this daring Minotaur combination into the cap here, and with the help of the Minotaur radar, if we just go back a little bit, we can see that now they're able to pick up the Z42, who did not expect the speed at which TWA was actually swapping sides and just going for a home cap push instead of the initial A cap deployment. So yeah, you can see here, it's really working well for them. These cruisers also not in a really great position to run away and try to get themselves into safety. Therefore, they will be picked up, and yeah, TWA is able to secure this victory with a really great rotation.
Yes, and this was the game, obviously, with the Delny rush.
Yeah, I can go back a little bit. I mean, you guys should really rewatch the series if you guys haven't, because there was a really funny and I guess also impressive situation going on here in between the Petro and the Delny. Petro Pavlovsk, like, just trying to desperately avoid getting torpedoed by the Delny, who was tailing him just behind. So yeah, those were really great scenes. Again, if you have missed it, you should really rewatch that.
Absolutely, indeed. So the next game should be starting in the next few minutes. Both teams are currently assembling. So once everyone is ready to go, and while the team is getting all that ready, we will also put out the next code of the stream to mark the beginning of the WMI 2025 Grand Final between the Old Guard of Europe, TWA, and Resin, a definite surprise present in this Grand Final.
Maybe a little bit of a, how do you say, goodness, I'm losing my word. Prediction code here, last minute. Maybe some wins will happen at that time. This is an interesting one right here.
Given all my predictions so far have been wrong, I'm not going to predict.
You can make a last minute prediction in this case.
I will make it when when the clock is at 900 points.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll be certain.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, going into this best of 5 now, I'm going to be the one who will still ask for predictions. Resin coming back from lowest bracket, getting another chance of beating TWA. What do you guys think? What's the general theme? Like, how is this matchup gonna go?
It's quite difficult to say. I mean, of course, TWA is favored in this best of 5. They've played less games than Resin. They've won more. They like. We don't really need to cover how powerful this team is. However, Resin definitely can make some interesting play. I remember maybe Kilobin talked about a 3-2 for TWA. That would be maybe the best, the most reasonable approach. But however, like, as you said, Blood, that last-minute lineups like this, when it's the grand final, everything can just get flipped on its own head when it's time to actually play the final itself. We might see some big things come out, some Vermonts, who knows? Like, so we have no idea. Maybe TWA goes for a more reasonable approach, just a cruiser-based, destroyer-based lineup, and Resin brings something completely out of the blue, like Rain with hulls, for example, even if it didn't really work in their favor. But surprising builds, surprising comps that TWA may not have the answer for. I believe this would be the main take on Resin.
Yeah, I mean, Resin has been looking really good. They looked really good in the lower bracket against Aya. I feel like, unfortunately for Aya, some of the most one-sided games we've cast in over this weekend. Definitely that series by Resin, the second game especially. It looked like Aya just like really could not find a footing in the game. Did manage to pick up their caps, but Resin's positioning, especially the cruisers, just kind of locking down all sorts of angles on the map, which is difficult in this point situation, in this points format. It can be hard to actually have a reasonable hold across the entire flank. Often there are weaknesses in your comp, in your positioning, where there are holes for the enemy to exploit. But it really felt like Resin had a good setup, a good comp to plug all the holes on that map.
And that's a really good point, because on both Sleeping Giant and on Northern Light, we saw Resin defend really effectively what they had, and even rotated the ships in time against Aya. And TWA kind of does the same thing. They get this kind of early point advantage, and then they go into full defense mode. So both teams are excellent at defending their own turf in a way. So it might be, perhaps we might see some more passive games, and then at the last few minutes everything goes like crazy. I believe this would be my take on this, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I do predict that we are going to see both of these teams try to gain an early advantage, because I can tell from my own experience that if you're in these best-of-5 situations, having a one-up on your opponent is always is always putting you in a nice mental state where you can feel really comfortable, right? Everything's going really well, and therefore I do believe both of these teams will be pushing for that game 1 victory, just in order to actually get into that more comfortable state. And also, yeah, we haven't seen as many games from TWA compared to Resin, so I believe they will have something like an ace up their sleeves. So maybe it's going to be here on Sleeping Giant, where we maybe see something completely different that we haven't seen. I mean, we already saw something really interesting on Sleeping Giant from TWA when they did deploy that Nevsky that basically no one really expected, since it's like a heavy point investment. Yeah, maybe we will see something like this again.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have called ready, so we'll just wait for the teams to make sure everything's ready to go, and then we will begin.
Exciting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Excited to get into this grand final.
Not going to predict anything here, since
Avoid cursing.
Yeah, I will
teams,
avoid
yeah.
cursing
Well,
the
the
team that
chat
I'm
has to
obviously rooting for.
predict,
But
essentially.
no, I mean, hoping for some great 5 games here. Maybe it's going to go to the final game here in this series. And yeah, I believe we are dropping into the game, and wishing you all guys lots of fun, and take it away, gentlemen.
Righty. In the load screen now, going into Sleeping Giant. In the north, it is going to be TWA, spawning in with the battleship. Finally,
go.
it comes out. Bungo is on the field. The very, very accurate Japanese battleship. Not the fastest one, but it does have that overmatch that has the special precision spotter plane that makes it extremely accurate during its duration. An Henri for Venezia and Hudenlu as the 3 cruisers. A Hull, Daring, and a Ragnar as the 3 destroyers.
The whole pick is, again, really interesting. We saw Rain use it, but TWA not so much. In Resin side, they bring a kind of a more classic comp as we've seen so far throughout the tournament. So 4 cruisers, 3 destroyers, Venezia, Napoli, which we haven't seen for a while, the good and loaded Prince van Oranje, and of course Grozovoy, Z42, and Gdansk. So only 1 radar in this whole comp, while well, the same thing from TWS side. So maybe less of an information plays here, more of a damage output plays.
Yeah, I think TWA definitely has the edge here. I think in terms of that, it's going to be up to the Ragnar and the Daring to really keep spotting up for the Bungo. I think that is definitely a thing that you have to take into consideration when you're bringing a battleship, giving it targets to shoot at. is pretty difficult when the enemy team has radar advantage or utility advantage over you. And in this case, they actually do. Like we saw in Resin's earlier game against Ayaya, even though Ayaya brought a lot more utility in their destroyers, double Ragnar, right?
Oh, yeah.
The 2 radars. Just the difference in range between the Ragnar and the Gdansk radars means Gdansk has a much easier time getting those Ragnars spotted.
Essentially had the initiative at all engagements, and obviously while Gdansk doesn't have a heal, he has a smoke to disengage whenever they want.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage that the Gdansk has over this, and let's see how they play here. In terms of deployment, what do you see, Zui, here?
Well, Resin has abandoned their fast French cruiser push to the A cap. They're opting instead for a much more a slower, kind of more methodical push. Napoli, I don't think we need to explain much about the Napoli.
No.
It's the pushing cruiser of choice for almost all the competitive teams. It has great armor. It has a great armor scheme. It's protected well against both battleship and
Oh,
cruisers.
goodness me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Umugu on TWA is actually running kind of a lighthouse build. He's kind of spotted already from really far away here at 13 kilometers. So the spotting advantage goes into Resin on this first Venezia. Any shots are going to be traded, I'm not sure right now, because of course Mibuki will instantly be fired again. And it's kind of a mirrored deployment on the 8-9 line here with Venezia DD and Venezia DD on both sides.
Yeah, just a Venezia trade here. I don't think any big damage output is going to happen. They're both reasonably well. I say
Oh,
that.
never mind.
I say that, but
That is a
Mibuki's shot
12K.
into Umugu's Venezia did a lot of damage, and they are already operating on an HP deficit because of the lack of SE, I believe, on that Venezia.
Yeah, that's a really good opener here. The daring, of course, Vilek seeing these Z-42 torpedoes coming in will be able to dodge them.
Yes,
Anything
daring is,
happening on the A side so far?
I think we're just going to have a middle contest, the usual, let's say, Solitude, Ragnar.
Oh, goodness me, Solitude taking
Oh,
a bunch of torpedoes
no.
again from the Gdansk. My goodness, that's almost a one-hit kill.
3 torpedoes land from the Gdansk. Eagles Gdansk has been landing torpedoes every single game.
That is so unfortunate. Reminder, both Hull and Ragnar obviously do not have hydroacoustic, so
Yes.
these torpedoes coming in were a complete surprise.
Yeah.
It's
And,
3 of them.
TWA doesn't know this, but Eagle did run his radar there just to see if he could finish off that Ragnar. Did not manage to catch it. It is right at the edge of its range. So there is actually a radar on cooldown right now, and it is actually a charge expended, which we saw in the previous game that Resin played. Every single charge of that radar matters. So.
I mean, he does have 4 more, which honestly for a 7k HP Ragnar should be good enough. That was 30k, by the way.
Yes.
30k damage on the Ragnar from the Gdansk. Devastating start for TWA a little bit here, losing so much HP so early on both the Venezia and the Ragnar.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Grozovoy versus Hull, at the spotting advantage obviously going to Grozovoy here
big
with the 6
advantage
kilometer.
in terms of spotting and a big speed advantage too for the Grozovoy, so should be able to make it all the way out to that F-line island nicely and easily. It's gonna spot the Henri as
Oh,
well.
I'm sorry, the Gdansk burning the second shot of the radar on the Ragnar here, spotting him of course, but the Ragnar is literally in a position to just dip behind that island, so as you mentioned, kind of wasting the Gdansk's charges of radar.
These are pretty valuable resources. There's only the one radar
Prince
ship on
Salvo,
both
however,
sides.
the Prince Salvo coming in. Remember what happened the last time. Oh my goodness, that's a
Yes.
little bit scary.
2.5k
Some
there.
bombs from the
Airstrikes
Guden Lu as well.
Both the Guden and the Prince Vanya are throwing their bombs.
Solitude under so much pressure
Not quite
right
able
now.
to land the bombs on that Ragnar, but he's forced so far away from the cap. I think that's going to open it up for the Eagle Lance to come in and grab this A cap.
I mean, the Ragnar does have he's on radar, but it's not covering the entirety of it, as you said, so
Yeah.
he'll have to reverse kind of
He'll-
deep.
He'll have to reverse to get back into radar range, and even then, what supporting fire is there?
I mean, I guess not really anything regarding TWS side, but again, the bombs. Resin's Guden Lu taking a lot of damage here. The Hull engaging with the 2 or 3 from long range, backed up by the Henry, backed up by the Guden Lu's own
Yeah.
bombs here. That's already
Lots of bombs being
Oh
dropped.
my
A
God,
nice hit
so much
onto that
damage.
Guden Lu. So down to
He-
20,000 HP. He does have to reverse away and try to break spotting here from the hull.
He is dark, however, his DCP is on cooldown, so fire could actually be kind of dangerous here. The Guden Lu does have this time 60-second fire
60-second
duration.
fires on that Guden Lu. I'm surprised there's not really much retaliation rotation going into the hull. Only now is Grozavoy and Napoli getting into firing range here. I feel like they should have been a little bit more aggressive, seeing their Gudun Lu dropped by so much damage output. Hull is taking a lot of damage in return, but it does have those really powerful heals.
You were talking about retaliation. It didn't take too long to come. Now, the Legends formula in the Napoli here, pushing in, kind of broadsided to the Gudun Lu. The Gudun Lu shooting HE only, not really finding this big damage on the Napoli here.
Yeah. So I think after this little push, Freiss in the Grozavoy probably just want to keep that Gudun Lu spotted, let the
Solitude, I'm sorry, Solitude reversing, did this time properly caught by both the Gdansk and the Prince Van Oranje salvo coming in. He has to be careful not to beach himself, avoiding a lot of damage here from these
and that is actually
salvos.
just a hard spot. Gdansk did not have to use a radar for that one.
Yeah, they are really trying to get that cap back, but it's too dangerous. We're about to see predictions on the screen. 77% for TWA.
Yeah, I think unsurprisingly so, TWA has been champions many, many times. Resin, the challenger, let's say, but they are off to a pretty good start here.
Indeed, yes. Some blows being traded here. The Napoli, the Legends formula, taking a lot of damage here from a Henry 4 AP salvos and the Hole at the same time, forced to use that smoke not to lose too much HP. Meanwhile, the Grozavoy, which had smoked her up, is kind of going back around. Not much happening on a 1-2 line, but the HP trade is in favor of TWA on this side.
I'm just surprised at how, honestly, how conservatively Freiss is playing in that Grozavoy. I feel like he knows he has a pretty reasonable spotting advantage here on this flank. I feel like he could be a little bit more aggressive here, getting more consistent spotting against the Gudun Lu and the Henri.
I mean, the big elephant in the room right now is the cap advantage. Resin has 2 cap, and TWA has nothing in plan to get that cap back. They kind of have no idea. I mean, I'm sure they have an idea, but...
I mean, we have to just point out the elephant in the room is the Bungo, who we haven't really seen him get into the game yet. He's been sitting around at that B cap. This is a 20-point investment. That is not a low investment. As far as battleships go, it's reasonably cheap, but I mean, 20 points out of your 100-point budget is a fifth of your team, and we haven't really seen him do anything really
for
in this
now,
match.
at least. He is setting up to push through that channel and maybe try to get, like, I don't know, force himself in A. Just use the HP to try and get into the dome, maybe.
Yeah,
that
there
would be
isn't
the
a
plan.
ton of damage output in the middle of the map. That is true. It's basically just Boom Diada's Prince Van Oranje, which, I mean, in the previous series, did a lot of work from that middle position.
They have 3 minutes to do something, and so they have to act now. They have to act quick. The Ragnar, of course, from Solitude, no more heals. So the 13k HP he has now is the last he's going to get. And, of course, the Gdansk saying, like, well, try again, you know. Like this.
And it is going to be Vilex in the Daring, backed up by Silverblade's Bungo, making their way towards the middle of the map. I think they're going to have to make a play onto that A cap. 3 radars remaining on the side of Eagle Lance. I'd be very surprised if Solitude got anywhere close to radar range of that Gdansk.
The Gdansk did use his torpedoes as kind of a pre-prediction that something would push on the home cap, which
and
is
they
not
do see
happening.
the Bungo now in the middle of the map,
They
so
do see it now,
should
but no
be a
torpedoes.
reasonably safe assumption that they're making a play towards that A cap.
We also have the Hole from TWA Sako here rotating the towards the A cap. Oh, here we go. So Solitude gets spotted. This time the Prince Van Oranje has another firing solution. Does he take that shot here? He's kind of hidden behind that rock, so I don't think they can.
I think Eagles actually just popped it. He's going for the Daring instead, trying to ward off Vilex, but I don't think they're going to be able to do enough damage to actually prevent this push.
Yeah, 1 more minute on the radar cooldown from Eagle Lance. Eagle Lance kind of in a tough spot here. He has to be careful not to overstay his welcome. He has a strong defensive position, but in a 1v3 like this, plus the hull coming over, it could be really dangerous.
Yeah. And Ragnar has stepped onto the cap, and that is the weakness of having only 1 radar. There's once you have 2 destroyers threatening the cap, it doesn't take that long to actually finish off the cap progress. So even a Gdansk with its fast reloading radar cannot stop this cap.
Lots of blind fire coming in as well, not really finding their mark, unfortunately. Even the Prince.
Actually, Ragnar has run his radar as well. Eagle Lance right about on the edge of it here. They are going to spot Eagle Lance's Ragnar. 3 destroyers
I hope the
converging
Bungo,
on his
I
position.
really hope the Bungo has HE loaded, because that salvo could be really, really bad. I hope Silver... Yeah, here we go. That's armor piercing, unfortunately. Bungo's HE is devastating. Kind of a misplay on TWA's part not to have the right ammunition
does land
loaded.
a decent chunk into the Gdansk. Obviously, he doesn't have a heal, but he's being chased around by 3 destroyers now, so I don't think he can stay.
Time to dip. Big
Yeah.
time. There are
I will have to say, though, even with only the 1 cap on the side of Resin, they are actually going to win in 2 minutes and 45 seconds compared to the 3 minutes remaining that TWA needs to tick over to 1,000 points. So TWA actually does have to find a kill or stall on that C cap.
I'm not sure if they can do anything on the C cap whatsoever.
Yeah,
to
and
be
Resin
honest.
definitely know this as well. Do you
They
think
have
do you think
nothing.
Resin just pulls back and
I think Resin
defends C?
runs. Resin runs. I mean, they're already pulling the gloves away. They're putting the Napoli in
Oh,
a catching
Eagle coming under
position.
fire again. Daring is
Eagle
just
lands.
chasing. Daring is just chasing him.
He has no smoke whatsoever. That's gonna be a lot. Even the bombs from the good and Lou here. Yeah, the Daring
no
is
speed
chasing.
boost, no smoke screen.
Oh, here comes the bomb, putting it up to 4,000 HP. I think
And
he's gone.
this is the kill that TVA needs. After this kill, they can just play defensive.
Ah, that is so unfortunate from Resin here to lose this ship. They couldn't pull him out in time, and now, of course, the points goes towards
Yes,
this.
now TVA is in the lead here. It is up to Resin to make something happen now. They did not manage to find the trade on Vile. Nice aggressive play, just spotting with his face.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
that's all you need to do.
Most definitely. Now there's a lot of blind fire going on Vilex. Daring here. He's in the smoke. And I guess they're just trying to claw that kill back. But the Prince Valorant taking a massive hit from the Venezia down to 1,600 HP. What just happened here? The bungo!
It was the bungo.
bungo
It
absolutely
was the
massacred him
bungo.
over the island, I believe. There was a 17-kilometer shot over the island, and now the Venezia can just pick up that kill.
Yeah, he is actually dark right now, so they're not able to finish him off. But I mean, they know he's at 1,000 HP, and
that
it is
so
up to Resin
unfortunate.
to actually make something happen. A couple of torpedoes in the path of the Z42, who's actually just run out of his hydro. He's going to stop in his smoke screen to try to make something happen, get a little bit of damage output here.
Here goes the Venezia getting the final salvo here on the Prince Van. The Prince Van does not have any heals, no nothing, and that's it. Resin loses yet another ship, and the points now down to 20 seconds for a TWA win. Goodness me, that bungo salvo paired with the Gdansk going down literally denied Resin. Kind of an assured win at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to point at the aggressive push from Vile's Daring. They managed to get the hard light on the
Goodness me.
Gdansk.
The Henry 4 was on 1k HP and they failed to kill him in time.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened there
unfortunate.
exactly, but they failed to kill Kinemod, and TWA wins that first best of 5.
Yeah, just conserving a lot of their HP. I mean, the Ragnar took some unfortunate torps at the beginning of the game, but didn't actually go down, conserving a lot of their HP, and then like they saw the points. They saw we need one kill. One kill's all we need,
And
they
get it.
just tossed the Daring into the Gdansk, saying like, we get this kill. We have all of our destroyers in mid parked up and ready to support you. We pick up the Gdansk, and then the game's over. That's kind of all they need to do, right?
I kind of predicted that it would be kind of this slow-paced approach at the start, and then the last 2 minutes are just a hectic trade-off between everything. We missed the Henry on the 1-2 line, basically being put down to 1k HP, but they can't finish that kill, which could have put the points back into their favor, but it was just too little too late.
Yeah, a little bit too little, too late. But once that Gdansk goes down and they take the cap, they're pretty comfortable. They can lose a ship or two and they'll be fine. And TWA just recognizing exactly what they need to do, exactly when they need to do it, and pull it off. Really, really strong rotations. We saw all of their ships just suddenly go mid, pick up the Gdansk, and then suddenly the game is on Resin's shoulders and not on TWA's.
All right, let's get back to the studio and see what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a super exciting game at the end there. Had a little bit of a slow build-up to it for sure. But like you guys already have picked up on, I mean, super good comeback, realizing exactly what they needed to do here. And I think the realization kind of trickled in like slowly but surely that this is not going to be a points tally that they can come back from with only having 2 capture points at the same time. So yeah, we were questioning at the beginning if Debungo is actually worth it, you know, because he was basically sitting there for half the game, and I think he was on only 13k damage or something like this. And only then later on, where they needed to actually make a push for that capture point, did it come in really handy. Also putting down that PVO to very little amount of HP.
Yeah, exactly. Like as you said, like the Bungo he was just biding his time, waiting for his moment. Like the PVO was just far enough away from that island that the shells could come over. We saw the exchanges in the middle, obviously. Though, like that first play with the Gdansk torpedoes, you're like, is it over? Like
Yeah.
Can they not get the cap now? Do they have to now like completely change their plan because the Ragnar that is expected to contest is he now out of the fight? So from Solitude's end, like well recovered
for sure.
From that, and again, like the Gdansk's torps were very good. He was playing as well as his position allowed him. Obviously, like when the moment was like we're winning on one cap, and we see them start to fall back.
Yeah.
That's when TWA jump on it.
Exactly.
Like just that daring, he has to die. Just
Yes.
run that Gdansk down. Everyone's there. The destroyers are all there. The bungo's there. Just putting as much fire as they can into him, catching him out because like they've forced his smoke, they've forced his damage control, they've forced his speed boost. There's not a lot he can do.
Yeah, so we do have to replay for you guys ready, so we can use the time in between games to quickly talk about it again. Just, I mean, standard deployment here again. People, the teams going for the outside here, middle contest happening, and we see these 3 torpedo hits on the Ragnar here, which, of course, I mean, in the shoes of that player, you're gonna ask yourself, okay, like, have I just thrown the game? Because obviously, he knows that in a strat like this, it's all about maintaining lots and lots of HP. For these prolonged contesting games, right? I mean, we saw Resin do this PVO and Gdansk setup multiple times, right? So therefore, Solitude knows, of course, that he has to stay alive for the entirety of the game. Obviously, that being pretty difficult with just getting hit with 3 torpedoes. On the other side, I mean, super defensive play for both of the teams, right? Just basically saying, look, we are deploying 2 ships here, just blocking off any progress. That's about it. Plays are getting made on the A side of things. So if we just continue playing the replay here, we see some good initial damage onto the Gudelu here. Now lots of bombs coming in, of course, with that lag mod doing tons and tons of damage, being able to throw out lots of drops. And yeah, we can actually see Gudelu dropping down to 1/3 of its HP. Hull taking damage in return. Of course, that doesn't come for free. But this is a situation where now Ragnar is in huge trouble. He can't actually step onto the cap, right? Because Gdansk and PVO will be waiting for him the entire time. And this is the moment where TWA will realize this and is trying to come up with a plan. We see Bungo being in a place where, sure, you have a lot of options, but they are still just trying to figure it out. The first sign of something, of an idea, you know, being in the heads of these players is when the daring comes over, because he isn't going for the C cap. That's way too heavily guarded. He is just now basically saying, look guys, we are likely just going to have to fight over A cap here, and we need every possible forces that we can get. And therefore, they will rotate the daring, they will rotate the hull, and bunch up all the destroyers in the middle. But that said, it obviously took a lot of time, right? Points are ticking, and only now are they just starting to step onto the A cap here. So, just watching it a little bit further. Now they grab the cap, but they realize, okay, it's not enough. We need to actually get a kill in order to take the win here. Otherwise, yeah, Resin, easy choice, right? We just run away, we don't get killed, and it would have been really, really hard for TWA to pick up any kills. Potentially Gudelu, but of course, these here are in a 3v1 situation on the 1-2-3 line, so it was always going to be super difficult. So TWA realized this and quickly made the dash with the daring here, keeping the Gdansk spotted and basically going for the one play that they had available. Yeah.
And just to pay attention, if you rewind just a few moments later, right after the Gdansk dies, the Bungo lands over island, 40k-ish salvo on the Prince van Argent. And that allows the Venetia to just walk in sea and kill him.
Yeah,
so they lose 2 ships really quickly because the Bungo lands a crazy salvo on him, which we kind of missed with all the Gdansk action going on.
Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly the line that he just had over the island. Really great shot. Obviously, makes a huge difference, right? I mean, now
We're
you've
asking
not-
why you bring the bungo. That's exactly
yeah, that's
why.
exactly why, because there's some opportunities that can get created sorry, only with the addition of these big guns that battleships can bring into the game, and therefore, yeah, I mean, not only picking up the Gdansk kill, but also picking up the PVO.
Okay, yeah, so both teams are calling ready, so while they just get themselves all sorted, we can now so far confirm that the ships that so far haven't been picked this entire tournament are Christopher Colombo, Forrest Sherman, Gibraltar, Haragumo, Hayate, Shikishima, Thunderer, and Vermont.
So these have not been picked a single time.
No.
I wonder why Colombo.
Yeah, I mean,
At the 28,
super
literally a
expensive.
third of your point pool.
Yeah, Forrest Sherman, Harugumo, I mean, both are, I think, are sitting at 18 or 19 points. So, I mean, huge points investment for these smoke cruisers, smoke DDs, which there are other alternatives. But yeah, both teams are actually ready, and we are dropping into the game. Any thoughts, guys? How's this second game gonna go?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Bungo again. They used it pretty well in the first game. Hotspot is a map where you can definitely lob shells over islands, so wouldn't be terribly surprised to see Battleship play.
Well, we have the lineups and the teams are ready, so let's get to it and see what they bring for the second game in Hotspot. Zoe, what do you see?
On the side of TWA, they've actually lost their battleship. A Nevsky is on the field,
There
2
you go.
Henris as well. Grozovoy, a Z42, a Regolo, and a Ragnar backing them up.
The regular pick definitely is kind of the derivative from the Nevsky at 22
Yes,
points.
for sure.
But the regular was a really strong destroyer in previous games like this. Resin switches, brings a battleship this time. Montana, really accurate anti-cruiser lineup, sort of, if you kind of find the broadside. A Napoli, 2 Prinz von Oranje, so a lot of staying power with the guns, with the long-range airstrikes. A double Z42, and a Holland, which is the first time we've seen that ship up for a while.
I would
It's
assume this
also
is a unique...
It is a unique
yes,
upgrade Holland,
It is
yes.
a unique upgrade Holland, making it very, very tanky.
Yes.
Notably on the side of Resin, not a single radar. They're using those Z42 Hydros probably on that contested cap. They're going to be trying to use just the smaller Hydro spotting to hold on to that cap. Not going to have radars to contest this Nevsky smokescreen. We have to talk about that one.
Oh yeah, as you mentioned, the Holland being very tanky is being sent to the 910 line, maybe as just a perma-kiter, just to prevent any kind of push on that 910 line. Maybe they have a really strong player around C, we get it, we defend it with everything we got. Meanwhile, we kind of send a couple of assets to the home cap and see what happens
Yeah,
there.
I think like they're almost playing this as if this is like kind of a clan battles-esque match. They've got one destroyer, probably gonna head out towards mid, towards that B cap, just provide a little bit of information. Montana, like I said, this map is one where battleships are so powerful.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they can exert their influence over the entire map.
And they're
with
actually
those
sending
guns.
the Monty kind of short in front of the island, right, with the Napoli. So the Montana might start taking some damage from the Henry, from the Nevsky, because the Grozovoy will eventually spot it. Really heavy push on TWA towards the home cap. They're sending a Henry kiting on 910 line. Z42 on Z42 action behind islands here. We've seen a lot of things like Eagle Lance, depending on how it plays out, might be in serious trouble with long-range Henry fire once he gets towards A. Because
on the
some
side
shells
of-
can... Oh, yeah.
On the side of Resin, though, he's going to be backed up by 2 Prince van Oranjes. When the islands are the trouble, maybe all you need is a couple of airstrikes to dig out those enemy ships. And I think Reprise Z42, he realizes that maybe being on islands against double Prince von Orion is not the play. So he's sitting right on the edge of the cap. He's not going to commit to that island position.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. The Henry 4 in a kiting position already. Funnily enough, Eagle Lens has not used his sonar. He's just burning it now because both ships are about to go into the range of each other. And maybe, as you said, the Prince van Oranje airstrikes are going to be the way of dealing damage here.
Yep. Nevsky is going to be actually running his first radar in the middle of the map. It's a Regolo Ragnar Nevsky triple smoke train here
That
down
is
the middle
really
of the map.
interesting.
They are going to catch Mad Dog Z42, and he has to be so careful. There's so much damage output on the side of TWA
Oh,
in the middle of the map.
The bombs from the Prince of van Oranje actually landing correctly on the Z42, doing a really decent damage here. That Z losing already 5+ KHP, and the second drop coming in. Oh, all right. As you said,
nice
really
drops
efficient.
from those Prince van Oranjes. They are going to actually prevent Resin from taking their home cap.
Goodness.
This
Yeah.
Nevsky radar being put to good use here really, really aggressively down the middle of the map. Regulo's
Actually-
smoke screen is going to end right as he reaches the Grozovoy's smoke.
That is really
Look
far,
at that
yeah.
positioning.
That is a really good play. However, torpedoes
Oh, there
in
is
the
a
water.
there is a little bit of a gap in the smoke screen here. Does Montana have a shot ready here for the Nevsky?
It has to happen now or never. We see Napoli shooting high explosive at the Nevsky. Unfortunately, the Monty doesn't have a salvo.
Yeah, he's just ducked behind the island. Maybe it's a little bit too tall for him to fire over. So Nevsky is going to be nice and safe, tucked behind this.
He is still
Grozovoy
spotted,
smoke screen.
however. I think
believe that firing boom
Eagle
from
Lens.
the Z42.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Eagle Lens is still spotting, so really aggressive push on TWA for the home cap push. Meanwhile, Resin is going to secure that C cap. They've sent so many assets here. They've already rotating one of the Prince Van Oranje just to try to assist on that home cap defense,
Yep.
even though they haven't even capped
Oh,
it yet.
actually, a
to be
little bit
fully
of blind
honest.
fire does land on Nevsky, down to about 40,000 HP. A little bit of damage coming in finally from the side of TWA. I think that was a nice shot from Montana.
The Rigolo Ragnar smoke train coming in here. Cooldown on the smoke in 5 seconds. I think they're just going to try to get that. They're going to try to get
Yeah,
that
I mean,
cap.
this is obviously a rehearsed.
Here comes the radar from the Ragnar here, spotting Mad Dog, the smoke from the Rigolo being laid
Oh
down.
my-
They'll have some torpedoes to deal with, but right now, that Z42 has to run.
Yeah, I mean,
with
this
everything
is,
he's
this
got.
is like a picture-perfect rehearsed play, right, from the side of TWA. The timings between the smokes and the radars, the positioning of the two smoke screens between the Regolo and the Nevsky, just picture-perfect here. And they've been
Mad Dog
catching...
survived this. He's holding his DCP for when the radar goes down. Can he actually survive? He's on 4k HP and dropping. So much fire being poured on him. He's dark now, burning the DCP. Still more shells in the air. Even the Nevsky at the range is pouring in. Can they back that kill? Oh my goodness, 950?
Look at this blind fire.
300?
300 HP.
Oh, he survived!
He's so low.
He actually survives. That's ridiculously lucky from
Yeah,
Mad
that
Dog
is
here.
actually crazy. Kinemod's Nevsky now has been left behind without his smoke screens. Does take a big chunk from the Montana down to 15,000 HP.
10K now.
10,000 HP.
Wow.
Probably going to be out of the fight until he can rejoin his smoke screen.
Goodness me, but Mad Dog surviving on this is ridiculous. He should have went down, but somehow they cannot get that kill.
In the meantime,
So
TWA has
unfortunate.
picked up Resin's home cap.
Kinemod is lit again. The Prince Van Oranje has more salvos coming out right now. He's firing. He's actually firing. That's maybe not the best play right here because the Prince Van Oranje, depending on the damage or the shells he can land, can basically two-salvo him.
I think Kinemod's pretty happy with the range that he's playing at. Prince Van Oranje doesn't have the fastest of shell velocities, tucked away safely behind the island. And obviously he knows Montana doesn't have a shot right now because they have that Montana live forever.
Repri here from TWA in his own Z42 on 9k HP right now. I'm not entirely sure what happened,
He
but
just took a check with Eagle Lance. In
oh,
the
I
face,
see, and the
maybe.
Prince as
Yeah.
well, the Prince Van Oranje. But yeah, right now TWA having both home cap secured with not really any answer from Resin to capture it back. That Grozovoy, Smoke Train, Ragnar, Ricolo is so rough to deal with. They're gonna start pouring so much damage on the Napoli. Meanwhile, the Henry IV, which wasn't really in any engagement so far, is gonna assist on the destruction of Napoli in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to just say, like, the TWA, the smokescreen positioning, the Grozovoy and the Regolo, just perfectly in sync, laying down so much cover for the Ragnar and Nevsky. They've taken map control so quickly. Obviously, the not crawling smoke, the fuel smoke of the Regolo providing so much speed to the rest of his teammates, and then Grozovoy playing ahead of the pack there, laying down the more permanent smoke screens for his radar.
And then the spotting
ships to
on the
play in.
Napoli. Yeah, we have prediction on the screen. 86% for TWA,
Yeah, and
14% for Resin, and it's looking that way so far, to be honest.
I think it's
They're pushing the
a
Montana.
very fair prediction here.
Yeah, Resin is pushing the Montana into the cap. They're going to try to just body the... Oh, no, it's turning it away, actually, because there's a little bit too much threat with the Regolo, maybe. Some blind fire going on in this
I mean,
smoke.
Regolo torpedoes do a lot of damage. Henri as well can provide a lot of damage output against the Montana. Does have the pen on those shells to defeat the 38mm plating that Montana does have.
Yeah, and Kinemod here in the Nevsky, happily farming that Montana's broadside with
Found
long
his
range
nice little spot far
Oh,
around
yeah.
the islands. This is randoms now for him.
Exactly, yeah, it's a really nice position because Nevsky's shells arc are really flat, but he's found a sweet spot to just keep the damage pouring on
And
this
look at
poor
the damage
Montana.
output on this Montana.
That is
like
a
we think of
lot.
Montana as a tanky ship, but against Henri and Nevsky at this range, maybe
He had to
not.
heal in 14 seconds, will allow him to heal about 30k, which is substantial. But look now, Resin has rotated the Prince Van Oranje. Maybe they want to put that ship literally right here in this
but
island.
They just don't have a way to keep these destroyers spotted.
They don't. But if the Prince Van Oranje actually gets into the B cap, they won't really be able to reset him because maybe if the Henry
the
fall...
Regolo can definitely take a rush.
Oh my goodness, that is actually terrifying. The Prince does have Hydrocaustic running, so they will see the Regolo obviously about just now.
But what can they do about it, really? Like,
I mean, the
like
Prince can...
once this Hydro goes down, like at any point, the Regolo could pull the trigger.
But
and
look
take
at
the rush.
Resin though, Z42 and Haaland rotating all the way down to C. They are going to basically touch A here. The Nevsky, however, has the radar ready, obviously, and they're going to be met with a Z42 and a Henry 4. Kinemod going to burn the radar right now as he sees, oh my goodness, taking some damage, burning the radar, and now the Henry is going to have to do some serious work.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that supporting fire from the Henri and the Z42 here. Obviously, Nevsky itself does not have a shot. They have 4 seconds to reset this. They should land onto Eagles. Zev, just barely managed to get the reset on that A cap. Resin is actually stepped on all caps right now. Obviously, just using that HP that they have on the Aranya. I'm surprised Mad Dog is opening up here from the smoke screen. He's on 300 HP.
I mean, he's trying to contribute on the... He's the only one with an angle on Regolo, and they have to prevent the Prince from getting rushed here. I think the Regolo is pulling the trigger on that rush. I believe he's going to try to make it happen here.
Yeah,
he's just disengaging instead.
Goes down. I'm not sure what the plan is here. I think they're pretty happy just relieving him. Yes, so they're not going to take the rush just about yet. They've got an Henri raining shells on him from long range. They have a Ragnar as
perma-spotting him as well, yeah.
So I think they're pretty happy with their position here, but they do have to get a cap back from Resin here.
Yeah, because Resin's going to get into A, fair enough. The Nevsky's radar is back in 78 seconds, so it's a long uptick. Any torpedo hits here on Eagle Lance, he's dodging this pretty fairly easily. Yeah, this is tricky. The Prince is going to get permanently reset, of course. Not that much thing he can do. He's permanent by the Grozovoy. The Regolo here making this kind of smoke push with the torpedoes as well. Trying to back the kill on the Prince here to make sure that they cannot take B back.
Not going to find a torpedo hit. Prince Van Oranje is trying to get himself unspotted by going around the island, I believe.
He has a heal running right now for another 10 seconds.
Yeah, but
so
as he increases his angle here, Regolo's damage output is going to increase exponentially with those sap shells.
He also has his DCP on cooldown, so any fires right now could really be bad.
Oh, and he does manage to escape spotting.
He escapes. That's really strong. His Hydroacoustic will be back in about 25 seconds, but TWA maintains B cap. Yep. Montana survives, heals back all the way to 50k HP here.
I mean, that's the strength of Montana, those improved USN heals.
Nevsky has the radar ready again in about 19 seconds. He is hydroing Eagle Lance in the Z42 for the Henry to farm, but the Henry kind of...
Nevsky is spotted here behind that island. I'm not sure if it's going to be... I guess they're just going to Prince Van Oranje bomb him down?
Yeah, the Prince has to be careful. He reverse here, but if the Nevsky pushes up,
Z42
maybe...
Hydro does catch Repri Z42. Does Big Boy 69...
Oh, goodness me, here comes the HE. Yeah, that's going to be really, really bad right now.
Big damage going into Z42, 1,700 HP remaining. Can they find the finish on him?
Crossfire from the Prince Van Oranje. Oh, the Haaland engages to try and finish that kill. Incoming salvo from Big Boy here. Does they back the kill?
Oh, 1,000
He's on fire!
They managed to pick up the Henri in the south. The Napoli has finished him off. 38 HP. They pick up another kill on the Z42.
Permanent fire,
2 minutes
gone.
for TWA to find something. They do trade away the Napoli, so it was a 1-for-1 trade out on the 1-2 line. The Napoli for the Henri. They need to find either a position on the cap. Eagle Lance dropping low here. Sakiko's Henri does have a shot on him. Henri burning the radar as well to keep him up.
Yeah, the Montana trying to claw back towards that A because they see that is where the action is going to be at right now. But look at TWS Regolo. Went all the way down, might backfire eventually because he's going to make his way until C completely uncontested, except maybe if Mad Dog spots him. Oh, they're going to see the shells coming in here. What can the Mad Dog do on 300 HP against the Regolo?
Yeah, I don't think he can do much. I honestly, I would prefer for him to just leave.
Eagle Lance still stuck into the Nevsky's radar here on 2k HP, burning.
1 second remaining. This is the final shot that Henri's going to get, unless he wants to try for some blind fire. Do they? They don't manage to pick him up. He's going to try for the blind fire, for sure.
I think he's going to have to go for it, yeah, indeed.
But Eagle is just pulling out. There's no way he's going to stick around.
He's not staying here at all.
gonna leave. Prince
Looking
Von
mighty
Aranda
tight, and
over here.
excellent play here from Resin, putting the Montana into C again to try and get away from here. The Z42 with the smoke will cover him up. Does he go for the smoke and risk maybe some kind of random? We've seen this in the past. Really low DD trying to help a teammate and just catch a random shell aimed at a different target.
Yeah, definitely very dangerous here for Mad Dog.
1 minute left on the timer.
Oh, they're gonna go for the kill on Big Boy 69. I think Kinemod does have a Hydro very soon. Prince Von Aranda down to 8,000
Here comes the AP salvo from the
HP.
Prince. Doesn't do enough. I think they're going to be able to back him. The bombs are going to miss on the Nevsky. Can they get that kill? I believe they can. The
Yeah.
Henry's long-range salvo also come in, and that's it. Big Boy goes down.
Yes. So they're buying themselves a little bit more time here. Resin still does have their 2 caps.
They do, and there's not really anything TWA can do right now. Maybe they push the Grozovo in there, but he will have to take care of the Prince Van
I'm
Oranje.
just thinking, like, where is their next kill opportunity? Z42 obviously has been low for a long time. Montana's actually
They're trying to
dropping
get the
really
kill.
low.
They are trying to get the kill on the Monty as well. Z42 actually smokes up and start engaging the Regolo. The Regolo does not have a smoke, by the way. Even the Hollands from the distance
No,
is...
I think Montana is dead
going
to
down.
right here.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
definitely
he
going
is.
down. Now they have to try to trade the Regolo, but he's just too quick. He's going to shove himself behind the island. This is the final heal on the Montana.
Can he survives! He survives!
There's
The Regolo torpedo's
no
too
way.
slow to make it happen. And now Mad Dog's Hydro is covering the Regolo. The Regolo is stuck behind that rock, can't do anything. Maybe we'll see a Montana HE rush here. Maybe the Montana loads
Frice's
HE.
spotted in the middle of the map. He did try to contribute towards that Regolo kill. Is not quite beaching, just skirting the island here. Is burning on a fire. Does have a heal remaining, so he should be okay.
This is
We
really,
have to
really,
keep
really
an eye
tight.
on
Here
this
goes the
Montana here.
HE on the Regolo. Both turrets kind of fail to
turrets,
kill him.
2 turrets down. Regolo can do so much damage to Montana, though.
Oh
I
my
think he
God.
overestimated his damage output.
Do they get him? He's dipping. I think he's asking for the Nevsky to finish
Look
him
at
off.
these salvos coming from the Regolo.
Wow.
And that is going to swing the match in TWA's favor. 960 points.
That's
Can
ridiculous.
Resin find a kill somewhere on the map?
They can't. They have to try to back the Regolo, but Mad Dog is so low. The
AP salvo
Holland.
going into Kinemod's Nevsky. Oh my god, it lands just short. 12,000 HP on the Nevsky remaining. Boom Dieta does not manage to find the
The
connection.
blind
here.
fire from Mad Dog here. 18 HP
No
on Regolo.
way.
More shells have to pour down here. Oh my goodness, that is so unfortunate. 1 HP on Mad Dog.
Mad Dog is actually on 1 HP.
What is going on? They have 30 seconds to get that Regolo kill. They have to try something here. Some
Yep.
blind fires from the
They
Holland.
are stalling on the cap. Frice just firing into the blankness.
Oh my
They
goodness.
have no idea where this Regolo went.
Solitude in
Is
the
there-
Ragnar coming back, however, with the Grozovoy as well. Maybe the Grozovoy finish them both off, actually. If they push
And
out,
10
I think.
seconds remaining for them to do something here. Eagle Lance is spotted at 1500 HP in the Z42. He does, his smoke screen just was not
5
covering
seconds
him.
left. Blind fire on Regolo. I don't think they can pick it up.
Oh, I think he's just wedged in the right spot, and TWA clutches out a victory
That
on
is
this game
ridiculous.
on hotspot.
Why not his HP on destroyed right now? Oh my goodness, it looked so bad for TWA, but then they just have the answer at the last minutes again.
I think that Montana play, I think they could have waited an extra couple minutes for the Montana to make that push. I think he overestimated, like, Regolo puts sap into your bow and
Oh,
does
yeah.
5,000 damage.
That is
instantly.
ridiculous. Actually ridiculous. Resin having a really strong match throughout the entire thing, getting the home cap, getting the central one, maintaining them for a long, long time, but unfortunately unable to trade the kills with
Yeah.
TWA.
That was just, I mean, every single ship on the map that was remaining at the end of the game there was low HP. I don't think every single ship was in jeopardy of dying.
Is it the first time we see a 1 HP ship in a tournament
Yeah,
like this?
I think that was the first 1 HP ship.
Quite literally 1 HP.
What do you guys have to say about that?
I don't
Wow.
even know. I could go on about this game for 30 minutes, man. I mean, there was so much happening. I believe just general impressions, that was one of the best competitive matches I've seen in a long time.
mean,
like
MVP
so much
Mad
back
Dog.
and forth.
Oh yeah.
like just not dying at like who at this level, who expects that Regolo, Ragnar
Ridiculous.
just going for it?
And not finish off that
Yeah.
ship.
It's crazy. I mean, both of the teams just didn't want to like let go of this game too. Like they desperately wanted to win it so hard. Like it's incredible. I mean, so many back and forth moments here. It's going to be hard to talk about all of them.
And while TWA obviously came away with the win there in a very, very close ending, I have to say, like, Resin did an amazing job like retaking control of the game, because like that early smoke play was
Devastating.
it was amazing. I think the regular smoke, pulling the Ragnar and Evsky along with him, getting the first spotting onto, I believe it was the Z42 of Eagle Lance, and then continuing the smoke screen with the Grozovoy, the regular smoke ending right as Grozovoy's smoke comes up. I think that was definitely like a pre-planned play. They made extremely good use of the Nevsky, played it really aggressively, got a lot of spotting done, took the enemy home cap right off the bat, but still Resin made it a nail biter all the way to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is exactly what I was saying earlier, right? We can expect TWA to just pull out something that we haven't really maybe seen so much. I think Rain actually did something similar, but not with the Nevsky. So here it's TWA actually just going for the for Resin's home cap super early on, trying to put that foot down. And yeah, no, I mean, absolutely great game. The DD almost dying because of that push, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was on like 100 HP and got away with it.
301 HP or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have that render available for you guys. So we are going to be able to take a look at that blockbuster of a game that we just witnessed. So just yeah, here we see this great setup from TWA. Just smoke line across, you know, take the Nevsky inside the regular smoke, and this is like a really great detail, right? Grozovoy obviously knows that regular smoke is going to run out at some point, already lays the smoke screen here so that the Nevsky can have another smoke screen after the regular to really just manifest that Nevsky position, which came in handy a bit later on. Here, just quickly talking about C-Cap, I mean, yeah, there was so much happening on A and B cap side, but here it's just your standard contesting. But we were obviously wondering what happened to the HP of the Z42, so some early contesting obviously meant that with Resin deploying 4 ships towards the C-Cap here, Repri in his Z42 had definitely his work cut out for him, and yeah, was able to bail in time. So then here we see this aggressive charge with the smoke towards the B cap here, putting that Z42 under additional pressure, you know, activating radar, just really focusing on that Z42. I was really surprised that the Z42 actually stayed alive, considering there's like, yeah, 3 DDs plus the Nevsky shooting him. I think the Torp salvo that came in as the DDs were trying to push for the cap probably worked in favor of the Z42 here, because both of them weren't able to deploy full guns and turn broadside since they had to stay stern on. Yeah, so
like TWA just, like, this strategy just immediately throws Resin on the defensive. You have to react to this because, like, we've seen in most of these games previously, it's like both teams kind of deploy, kind of test each other, what they're doing. This game, TWA went straight for the blood. They saw they had a plan. They wanted to catch that destroyer. They wanted to deny the home cap.
yeah,
And they genuinely like did.
yeah,
Like,
sure.
Like, how often do you see a hotspot game where the North Spawn team controls A and B for the majority of the game?
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, and you can see it in the render as well, that they immediately try to choose a different target, right? They were like, okay, we've got 3 DDs here, we have a smoke screen up again, so what's the next target? They go on to focus the Napoli, right? Create more space from the Henri here on the one line, and just pushing ships further away from the B cap here that they obviously now need to control for the majority of the remaining game. So yeah, Montana pushes in, tries to, you know, put some pressure onto these DDs, but just ends up in a bad spot, needs to pull away. I just need to say this Nevsky position was really cheeky, because he can just sit there unspotted, freely pumping damage into the side of the Montana and just basically yeah, pushing him away. One interesting piece of information though that we're gonna get to later on. Yeah, of course, now Resin needing to just put the foot down. They only have one kind of objective here, is getting back these capture points that TWA is holding for such an amount of time. We see the points 740 to 500, right? So it was do or die time. That's why they are both just throwing in all the ships that they can have into these capture points. PVO capturing and these 2DDs obviously going and grabbing the cap as well, which they actually do manage to do so at the end. Of course, in the beginning, a couple of trades, Nevsky provides information, but in the end, they do manage to get it. TWA now in the south just trying to get rid of it, right? Because they need to get back to points gain, since C has fallen to Resin, A has fallen to Resin now. So it's a desperate situation that they find themselves in, even though they've had such a commanding start to this game.
Yeah, and I just want to mention, like, there's a reason Napoli is 17 points, and I feel like it should be even higher.
Yes.
It's in a 1v4, and it trades the honorary
Yes, so
with it.
this is exactly what I wanted to mention, because this is the one thing that really didn't go well for TWA, because the Henri finds himself bowing in front of Napoli, and obviously Napoli being such a tank, he just has no problem at all sitting there, secondaries firing left, right, and he's just taking it to the chin, right? Yeah. And the Henri slowly but surely figuring out that, oh well, I've not put myself into a great position here, and Napoli is absolutely punishing him for that.
He's also on a complete crossfire from the Montana here at the same time.
Yes.
There was some shells coming from the Montana to try and finish off the Henry, but didn't really connect, unfortunately.
Exactly. So here, now the crazy stuff happens, right? I mean, Ragnar also just opens up, both of them super low, but they realize they need to get this kill, right? Do manage to get it. In the meantime, they grab back B, which they so desperately need, because now Resin is in the points lead. So continuing, now we've got this situation, which was absolutely crazy. I thought, I mean, Z42, he was dodging so incredibly well, because, I mean, he was on like, what, 4K, 2K, just dropping down, and the Henry just like pumping his shells desperately to actually try to get him killed, which he didn't manage to do so. But
I'm surprised Kinney survived.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Caught between two Aranyas.
honestly, you're absolutely correct. Like I thought so too, that this
He was just going to get bombed.
Nevsky
to
is
oblivion.
going to get picked up for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, this PVO probably just also focused a little bit too much on the Henri, but would have to go back. Yeah. Yeah, so he's trading with the Henri, whereas he maybe should have
Kept pushing to get the Nevsky.
kept pushing towards the Nevsky here. So, yeah.
And then that last minute desperate play on Resin's part, like the 18 HP, the 1 HP, like a stiff
Yeah.
breeze would
Absolutely.
have
No, Regulo
yeah.
just going in here, creating another opportunity, right? Which we ended up seeing like something completely amazing on the Seep Cap contest here. Just so many back and forth moments. But no, so teams appear to be ready.
Yep. So as we go
therefore,
into
finishing off.
what could be the final game of the tournament, we have the last code ready to go. Maybe we will.
Buff Zhao. I
We
mean,
just did, didn't we?
yeah, buff it even more.
More angles, but we won't say what.
What a crazy game, nonetheless.
Yeah,
Goodness.
absolutely. Like as we go into this potential final game of the day, can Resin pull one back, or will TWA go 3-0?
Well, they better get to it, because otherwise that's it for the day, you know.
Yeah.
So they, like, if I was actually having a question for you guys. The hotspot ban from TWA in previous, they banned that map basically all the time,
Yes.
correct?
Were they
Was it to
saved-
save
That was definitely the
just
save
for
that
this
strat.
smoke
Could well
train
have been.
destroyer play?
They knew that it will be played in a best of 5, since we only have a map pool of 5, right?
Almost didn't work in their favor. They had to just use their reactivity to just make it happen. You
No,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah, but I think their opener there was one of the sickest openers I think I've ever seen
Oh,
in competitive.
absolutely.
That Regulo Groza Voice smoke combo was
Filthy,
beautiful.
actually.
That was impressive for
Actually
sure.
filthy.
So definitely a strat they've been saving for this moment.
The Regulo even assisted the Nevsky to get to where he was in the first place.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then once he was in that crazy position, then, well, we know what happened in the rest of that game. Well, Resin better get to it, and if it's time for them to pull out a crazy strat for Northern Waters, well, they have this last chance, to be fully honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these teams deploy towards the A-cap, right? Both teams have played this map a bunch, so it's going to be interesting to see if one of the teams has maybe another ace up their sleeves. So yeah, dropping into the game, have fun, gents, and take it away.
All right, then. Welcome, everyone, to the last battle of this best of 5 Warships Masters Grand Final. TWA versus Resin. TWA on the lead 2-0 right now. And this is basically the last game Resin can win to basically stay afloat in this tournament. They are bringing a Zhao, a Minotaur, Napoli, Prince van Oranje, Delny, Z42, and a Daring. So again, nothing absolutely crazy here. Obviously, the Minotaur being a radar one, maybe to just try to contest these destroyer play. But however,
On the side of TWA, a Zhao themselves, maybe that final code pushing them towards that pick. A Nevsky, a Hindenburg, and a Defense, and an Henri. 5 cruisers on the side of TWA, a Delny and a Ragnar as their 2 destroyers. So opting for a much more of a heavy damage trading lineup here.
Definitely.
The Zhao, the Hindenburg, the Defense, all very happy to just take extended gunfights.
I'm actually surprised that lineup is even possible with how expensive the Nevsky is, yet they still bring so much firepower, defense
yeah, I mean,
specifically.
That's the point savings from bringing the ships like the Zhao and the Hindenburg. These are ships that are, I mean, they're pretty cheap at 11 points. They provide a lot of utility. Obviously have amazing long-range firepower in those 2 cruisers.
Oh yes, most definitely. So in terms of deployment, they are sending Zhao Hindenburg to the home cap. So 2 cruisers, really good kiters, both of them actually.
Yeah,
Zhao
really
and Hindi are equally good at kiting
Yep,
ships.
devastating HE, devastating AP on both of them as well.
Long-range torpedoes from the Zhao. The staying power of the Hindenburg with the armor and the HP.
And the extra heal as well.
The concealment of the Zhao.
Actually, I don't think this Hindenburg is running SI. So yeah, he's actually only got the 4 heals, but that is one of the strengths of the Hindenburg. Does come with an additional heal right off the bat. So
Yeah, meanwhile, TWA is sending a lot of assets towards A. Delny, Ragnar, obviously both radars. The Delny, there's no smoke. The only smoke on this flank is going to be from the defense, actually. So the Nevsky...
Delny is smoke.
Oh, Delny is smoke.
Yes.
Apologies for that. Then he's running smoke indeed. So no heals?
No heal on this Delny, actually.
Very interesting. He's actually running the special module as well to increase the smoke duration, and so on and so forth.
So you think this is another special smoke play?
Well, he is using the smoke right now.
I mean, they're running the Nevsky. TWA, I mean, the Nevsky has been their ship, for the past couple of competitive seasons.
Indeed, and Daring already so close to be into the Nevsky radar. They must know that smoke is for that Ned.
Yes,
and
of course.
Nevsky.
And I think they're just not expecting a Delny to be running smoke. That's rare, right?
They're kind of confused, yeah, but I mean, now of course they know that it's the only ship able to actually lay down such a big smoke screen. Double radar whammy here, Ragnar and Nevsky. This Mad Dog has proven he can escape smoke trains.
Yeah.
But does he want to burn his luck for too long? Here comes the radar burning
And he's
from
pretty
the
deep
Nevsky.
in this radar.
And he is deep in there indeed with the Ragnar in tow as well. Shells are going to start pouring here. Defense, Henry 4, Nevsky, maybe even the Delny will start engaging. And Mad Dog is going to have to wiggle that Daring away from here.
I think when you're running a smoke screen on the Nevsky, on the Delny, you probably don't want to open water too much.
Interesting that the focus is split between the 2. They actually instantly focus the Delny the moment he enters the radar as well. That's interesting that they're not focusing
trying
fire.
to even up the HP difference between the 2 Delnys, maybe?
Meanwhile, the Ragnar just reversing into that cap, using that really great strat. Grozovoi is smoking up, Nevsky covering, and Ragnar just reversing to get the cap.
They do have that Minotaur radar up, so they can spot the Ragnar. It's going to come up to long-range fire.
Napoli
from
has to
just
shoot
the
right now,
Napoli.
12
Yeah,
seconds.
he actually has AP loaded. So.
That's unfortunate. I mean, they need to reset.
Yeah,
at
they need
this
to
point.
do they need to get the reset off. They will manage to do so.
It's also a long radar. Another 30 seconds coming in from Peyton here in the radar. Minotaur. Yeah, they have to keep resetting that Ragnar to prevent them from getting this early cap advantage, which will come in to
Actually,
bite them.
Decent damage going out onto the Ragnar as well. Does have a heals, obviously, so it's not going to be crippling by any means.
Delny's torpedoes coming in towards the Nevsky. No, they
Yeah.
just die off. They have no range.
No range
unfortunately.
for those torpedoes, and in the meantime, because they are splitting fire between the Ragnar and the Henri has managed to get right onto the island, that very crucial position, without losing too much of
I
his
mean, he's
HP.
half HP actually. he is kind of suffering from that,
Yeah,
definitely.
but he
But
just
now
needs to get Bao into the Minotaur, and then he's going to be perfectly happy where he is. And if they can get spotting on the Minotaur, Henri does overmatch it.
it does, but I don't think it has the angle right now. The minnow is kind of tucked in
away,
behind
yes.
that rock. Unfortunately, Ragnar will be able to get that cap. The Minotaur's radar is now on cooldown, so TWA will get the cap advantage. And with what they have in place here, there is no way Resin does
Yeah,
anything
that
on
is
A.
such a crazy push.
That
to
is
make.
done. That is done. A is locked, and there's nothing they can do except maybe if they do a crazy Napoli push.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to come down to a crazy push from the Napoli here. Like the Henri's in his spot, the Nevsky and the Ragnar, 2 radars covering that A cap,
Yeah.
and the defense just buffering everyone up.
That is actually quite a scary positioning. They did exactly what this comp wanted. Grozovoy smoke, Nevsky denies the area, and then they just get the cap and hold it. Resin, on the other hand, has kind of this kind of slow creeping torpedo exchanging Z42 Zhao kind of really carried out 9-10 line push versus the legendary Zhao.
It's just gonna come down to like Zhao versus Zhao. It's kind of a toss up what happens there, and then even if like it goes poorly for the TWA Zhao, like there's a Hindenburg waiting in the wings.
Just right
yeah.
there. Snackman, which actually has a really interesting position because he's able to threaten the Minotaur here. Minotaur is actually spotted. She's just pouring shells on the Hindi, but
Yeah, I mean, Minotaur.
honestly, like it's not that
in this kind of
terrifying.
position. As long as you're not like in threat of getting deleted, you just want to start using those heals to make something happen for your team, right? So
Yeah, Resin rotating the daring actually towards the middle of the map here to try maybe to make some kind of plays on B. They have 5 minutes to make anything happen. A is impossible. Like there's just no way.
I don't think there's any way they get back onto A. They just do not have the utility.
Napoli is permalit. She can't make a turnout. She's actually in a kiting position where she just
Nevsky
simply
is
can't.
going to burn a radar here. Just going to catch the daring on his way towards the middle.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call on the Nevsky side. Mad Dog twice being a victim of this Nevsky's radar, and then just here comes defense HE shell, really accurate 354mm guns. Misses the mark here.
Not gonna find this. Oh, actually, 1 shell lands.
Yep.
About 1,000 damage done to the daring here. Not crippled by any means as he escapes that Nevsky radar down to about 11,000 HP. One more shot just from a single turret, it looks like, from the defense, but should
Oh
be
my
nice and
goodness,
happy.
Zhao's Resin losing a lot of HP against the Hindenburg's AP.
Yeah, that's a
right
crossfire
now.
you do not want to be in, and he's turned away, needs to heal.
That's a 18.3 kilometer range AP salvo, which shaved the Zhao plus the other Zhao, sorry, his HP. Make Mebuki here down to half HP with a few heals remaining, but the points are ticking. 4 minutes for Resin
Yeah,
to make anything happen.
And this is like a classic TUA defense,
Oh
right? Like
my
it
God.
doesn't look like there's anywhere that Resin can really go.
There is no, it's tough. Napoli finally making that turn here, making that play, trying to make anything at all happen. Henry 4 from
He's actually pretty
TWA.
deep.
Yeah, he is kind of deep in there. Prediction, 71% for TWA, 29% for Resin. This Napoli is going to have to make something happen.
Ugolance is definitely taking a lot of damage here. He's trying to just get some spotting for his Napoli there.
This is so
Sakiko's Henri
rough.
is just going to duck behind the island. He's perfectly fine. Napoli now in a very vulnerable position, actually.
Yeah, Peyton here has to be careful because the defense has overmatched. No angles here, but she's slugging shells with the Nevsky right now with the Hindenburg from Air Snackman, just adding up to that
I mean,
damage.
as long as it's just HE damage, I think Peyton's perfectly happy taking this trade. Has a ton of HP healable.
Here goes the
I think
Legends
we
formulas.
have to
Napoli
keep an
now
eye on this
exposed.
Napoli here.
Yeah, she's going to be in a nasty crossfire between the Delny's AP, the Hydro from the Henry 4. Defense is going to swing the guns around. And Napoli is on a 20k
And
HP.
there's actually a spread of torps as well coming from the Delny. I think that might be the
AP from the
killer.
defense being ridiculously powerful. Does Napoli dodge it? She's like one on the
Think we'll
bow
take 1 on the bow.
That's
Is that
it.
enough? 6,000 HP remaining.
with a flood.
And a flood. There
I
is
think it's
a
a dead
heal
Napoli.
running.
He's trying to
and
blind
it's
fire
just
the
some
Delny.
desperate fire going into that Delny smoke screen. Just not able to find a connection. I mean, you cannot come around the Houndry going this slowly.
No, it's not possible. The flooding as well severely reduces your speed, so the Legends formula is going to die. That's going to put the counter down to what, about a minute. No answers from Resin. They just can't break through. That is such a decisive win from TWA on this third game. It's not even funny.
Henry is coming around the island here. Peyton's Minotaur has to be the one. That
Torpedoes
kind of like
finishing off the Napoli from the Delny here. Can they at least try to pick up Sako?
I mean, Minotaur versus Henry is just
Overmatch
like,
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it does manage to dodge this first shot from the Henry. Runs that reload booster. Let's see how this connects into the rear of the Minotaur. Nothing yet, so...
They really have to reverse the Z42. Hindenburg, L. Snackman, actually on 11k HP, took a couple of torpedoes, I assume, from the Z42. Resin here with the AP salvo from the Zao, picking up L. Snackman and freeing up A. That Z has to reverse into B, as soon as he possibly can. However, the Nevsky is coming back in with a radar burning.
Yeah,
they managed to get that
Big
kill.
Boys Z42 is down to 3,000 HP and burning. Actually, it was
Oh
on 3
my
fires. The blind
God.
fire from Nevsky finishes off that Z42.
And that's
900 points on the board for TWA. How are they going to get back onto these caps? I don't think there's anything in range.
Mad Dog still stuck into this long-lasting Nevsky's radar here. Prince Van Oranje just about to die from the Ragnar, that's it.
Yeah.
TWA just absolutely locking this game down. And
Yeah,
Resin
I mean,
just trying their best, but to no avail.
Yeah, and great fire coming out of Kindamod here, picking up the blind fire on the Z42, almost finishing off the daring, not quite able to find it. Solitude's Ragnar is blind firing himself, but not quite hitting the mark. 10 seconds remaining in this final game of the Grand Finals. TWA in a very decisive final game.
What an impressive play, goodness me. Like, we have Eagle's view on this. We know exactly where every ships are, and even we can't find any solution. We're like,
Yeah,
okay, what do you do?
It's so difficult to see what Resin could have done there.
Congratulations for TWA for becoming the champions of Warships Master. I mean, to be honest, it was relatively expected, but to have such a decisive third game like this, where they just squeeze Resin hard enough to just prevent them from doing anything back at this point.
Yeah, I think the radar play coming out of TWA, like they tried something in the first 2 games with the radars, but the opener in the second game and this absolute chokehold they laid down in the third game. I mean, that's why Nevsky is worth that much, and even at that point cost, absolutely put into great effect here by TWA.
They really showed how flexible you can use the Nevsky out of smoke screen, right? Sure, initially they put the Nevsky inside the smoke, but then again, rotating towards the other side of the map, first of all in the middle, catching that rotation from the daring, and then afterwards rotating further to the home cap, also being able to pick up the daring finally. So, no, I mean, once they were able to grab a hold onto that Echo 1 island that we see so much of, they were just really in a comfortable position to play down the Resin here in this map.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was like the second game was so back and forth. So many opportunities and chances could have flipped it either way. That third game though, that was TWA going, we are going to win this. We're going to put this to bed. We are going to play at our very best and just lock Resin out.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a chance for Resin to actually maybe take us to a completely different best of 5, it was probably that game 2 that came down to the wire. Here it was just a classic case of one team, that being TWA, having a really good idea of how they wanted to approach ACAP and not let Resin have the infamous island position, and therefore it's super difficult to come back from that.
Absolutely, and while we wait for the last of the replay renders and analysis to do, we do have a little bit of a sort of comedy nature clip that we'd like to play, and all of that. So while we get all that, we'll just switch over to that.
As far away from the equator, before it gets closer again, islands of ice. Great floating castles of frozen water stake their claim. Here, in the frigid waters, the Elvings are flourishing. When the temperatures drop, the Elvings farm the blubber of battleships. They are fattening up for the slow season, storing the precious HP necessary to procreate. But amongst the indulgences, a sense of unease permeates.
I need intelligence data.
They are not alone. Gliding in quietly in a plume of exhaust smoke, the Venezia takes its prey with a great volley of semi-armor piercing. The struggle is soon over. The Venezia will eat its fill and return to the dock to feed its little spaghetti monsters. And thus, the cycle of life continues amongst the frigid spires of islands of ice in World of Warships.
So just a bit of fun and all that. Why not? We also actually have an interview with Kinemod of TWA, where I'm sure he'll be able to tell us all about how he survived that second game and who came up with that sort of let's just throw the Nevsky forward, because he certainly seems to be at the center of a lot of these important plays.
Indeed.
Can I get connected to Kinemod here? The Nevsky and Des Moines player of TWA. Hello, Kinemod.
Congratulations, Warship Master. So, I guess the big question is that that second game. Whose idea was that?
Well, I mean, it was like a team idea, right? It's something we've done before, running it down middle on hotspot with Nevsky. I'm sure lots of people are familiar with it.
Yeah. And the Regulo, is that something that you use in a non-points format as well, or is that specifically something that you use in WM?
In this format, it's nice to. It's better to use ships like the Regulo because it costs 10 points. Like our Nevsky is already quite the investment in points. Should we say?
Sure.
It's 22. We maybe have to drop a few points. You know, if we just compare what's like any other smoke DD doing that, it wouldn't be too much.
Right.
Too much better.
So, but I mean, so for
so we can get
example,
away with
if
the
you were to
cheapest
run a similar, like run it down mid with a Nevsky comp in non-WM, what ship would you be using instead of the Regulo? Or is that a secret?
You'd probably just play a normal smoke DD.
All right.
Was
Like a
it
hard
your-
or
50
something.
seconds of smoke. I think most of the smoke DDs when you
Was it
the
your
right upgrades can do the same.
your plan to ban hotspot throughout most of the tour tournament was to save that crazy strat for the very end, right?
Not particularly. It
Not
was more a
particularly.
case of we just didn't know what map to ban. There's too few maps to pick between.
That's true.
So yeah, can you
Yeah.
talk me through game 1 and game 2 feelings? Obviously, starting off with Solitude, getting hit by unfortunate 3 torpedoes. So I think you were probably sweating quite a bit.
Unfortunate. Yeah, especially when not 30 seconds before we had said just careful for the Grand Stops in the middle.
Yeah.
And then 30 seconds later, we three Grand
No.
Stops.
Yeah, I realized that you were not obviously having any Hydro DDs, and I was a bit worried. And obviously, then I was a bit more worried after Solitude got hit by these 3 torpedoes. No, but did you manage to like basically make the call pretty early with Villa rotating and then daring that you just need to bunch up in the middle?
I mean, we kind of, looking at like how our deployment was into theirs, it was pretty clear, at least at the start, that just our Ragnar Bungo wouldn't really be able to play middle anymore by themselves. And when we saw that it was fairly mirrored deployment, it's really hard for us to progress with Daring Venezia into Z Venezia. One line, it's not the easiest to progress with the whole being outspurred by the Grozavoy. So it's kind of our only choice then ends up being go middle. And I mean, fortunately, this game took us a while to get there. We were a bit lucky, I think. We were able to
I
get off the
think
Gdansk.
you caught the Gdansk without his speed boost or smoke screen, right as Vile got him in the face spot. So
I mean, it might have been a quite hectic game. They might not have realised that if they just give us A, there's nothing we can do.
To be honest, that
take any
game
risks.
on hotspot was perhaps one of the most entertaining game we've seen in a long time. So thank you on your team for coming up with that strat. But also, Resin actually had a pretty good answers on this. They had the home cap secured. After that, they had the sea cap under control, and then the regular rotation, that really cheap destroyers, ends up killing the Montana, surviving on 18 HP, contesting C, and basically taking the point back in you guys' favor. So
And ends up being one of the reasons we win in the end.
yeah, definitely. So
And
that was a
Warship,
really good play.
Doing a lot. We didn't even realize that Z was. I mean, we knew he was really low, but 1 HP.
1
Yeah,
HP,
1
yes.
HP.
Yeah, no, I
At
mean,
the end of the game, it's like he gets spotted, and someone's just saying Z 1 HP in front of you.
yeah, I'm just like
Played it
as we were saying, like we were amazed that you survived that game because you were pinned between two Aranyas, and we just assumed you'd have been bombed into oblivion.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, at least playing a ship like Nevsky, it's a bit more. But you have the speed and acceleration to try and mitigate the drops. It's luckily they didn't. Like if they'd stacked the drops together at the same time, so there was nowhere to dodge, I suspect it might not have been the same.
So you think it was like almost like a timing thing because they're both just kind of spamming them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's like a hectic game. It's really easy to
yeah, of course.
just someone says, "Oh, I can bomb it," and then 30 seconds later, the other PVO strikes come off cooldown. And it's, "Oh, I can bomb it."
Yeah.
And let's talk about that third game, because like we were just figuring out basically on the first 5 minutes, okay, they secured A, they have so many assets to just defend it, they have the home cap, they have the Hindi here, which is in a really interesting spot. What can Resin do to actually come back from this? And we were kind of awestruck, like there's not that much things, like that's it, you guys have the advantage and you're gonna lock it down until the end, essentially.
Yeah, I think the 5 ships we chose to play on A just happened to be.
Would you
It's
say
really
that
hard for
that
them
was
to
almost like a
contest this in the other.
outdraft in terms of the ship comp? Because like it really felt like it really felt like Resin almost like couldn't play the game once you guys secured that A cap.
There is a bit of a strat mismatch.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens quite a lot with this tournament, though.
That's
It's very
true.
easy to,
Yeah.
with the points, and it's, you want to play 5 ships, and you have to kind of figure out how you want to, where you want to actually put the points. Like we chose to put it into our Nevsky. Them playing Mino, it's like it's still good, and they have a few extra points to put into their other ships. I think it was a bit unfortunate for them. I think they did the right thing though by trying to pivot on time cap.
Yeah.
Just daring being quite slow just made it really difficult.
Yeah, I think you just managed to catch the daring as he was like right out in the middle of the map, so he couldn't really make his way
Yeah.
out towards the home cap.
They don't really end up having, playing Mino. Obviously, it's good, but it's not really able to like threaten us from playing in the middle too much. So it's kind of just there, daring PVO.
And Mino has the unique, I guess, like weakness of being overmatched by Henri as well. And once you get that Henri entrenched, right where it is,
Yes, yeah,
it's
yes,
so difficult for the
So basically,
Minotaur to play.
only play middle.
Yeah, well, really well
Especially
played.
once we take the cap, is like really his radar's really useful before we take it. But once we take it, he's not really able to help in pushing our Ragnar off the cap as well.
Yeah.
There's not really any options for them.
Well,
I'm surprised how long our Hindenburg survived.
Well, eventually, but I think it's like, I guess we can say like congratulations to you and the rest of the team.
Absolutely. You guys
Very much.
party good and celebrate the victory without me.
Yeah,
Looking forward to listening to an analysis, Blood.
Yeah.
absolutely. So, well, thank you very much, Kinnybot. Thank you for agreeing to the interview. Congratulations. I guess now you can go enjoy your Sunday evening.
Yes.
And yes, thank you for joining us.
Just like to thank the tournament organisers. I know that it was quite a hectic schedule for them. They've done a good job.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
It's an exciting tournament.
Cheers.
Take care. All right then, pretty straightforward, pretty
Yes.
confident in his takes.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. As he
And
should be.
Kinemata has shown that he's like definitely one of the most valuable players of the tournament. He's been making plays in Des Moines, particularly in Des Moines, and then obviously the Nevsky, a huge point investment for his team, and they know that
It
they
has to
put
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put him in that ship. They know he'll deliver. Great radar timings, good shooting,
Yeah, I mean,
keeping
that's
himself alive.
been his specialty for a long time, just being able to play really well on these radar cruisers. So yeah, he feels super comfortable.
Absolutely. Like in the competitive scene of the game, like there are certain ships that people just associate with certain players. Nevsky and Kinney is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
And so like he knows everything about that ship. He knows all its tricks, all its foibles, and can put it to its absolute maximum impact.
One could say Nevsky got banned in King of the Sea because of him, but that's only... Yeah, I'll leave that up for debate.
In any case, quite unfortunate that this was such a short best of 5 in the end. Of course, 3-0 in TWA's favor. They just showcased impressive skills. Resin almost got that hotspot game.
Yes.
They were so close to get it, and unfortunately it didn't work. TWA managed to crawl it back. And yeah, it could have been fun to, because I believe the next map was North, right? And the last was Land of Fire. Could have went either way, but also really happy to see one of the most entertaining game we've had.
Indeed.
for a
So
while.
if we go over to the prizes, just so that we can give a reminder of what the teams have all just now managed to win. So obviously congratulations to like TWA and Resin and III and all of that for how well they have done, and like they can enjoy the spoils of their labor. And yeah, so I think like overall today has been like some very exciting games. Like I'm amazed about that second game. That second game will be one of those to remember.
It will be remembered, yes, definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, we only got 3 games, sadly, but that second game totally made up for it, 100%.
So many ships on low HP just slugging shells at each other, not managing to finish each other, and just the points ticking and ticking. Quite unfortunate. But yeah, we've seen some amazing games. A bit of a shame for IIR to just drop after such a good display on the previous stream yesterday. But overall, like, fun. So thank you for all the teams for actually giving us such a good time.
Yeah, so like if we can bring up like the final positions, so obviously TWA in first place, Resin in second, III in third, and CL in fourth. So all of them will be going away with their portion of the prize pool and all of that. And so yeah, I think all the teams will be very happy with their efforts.
Yep.
If nothing else, they don't have to worry about cooking dinner tonight.
Absolutely. No, I mean, sure, we've been talking about TWA and their great display a lot, but it cannot be... we also have to mention that all these other teams like IIR, Resin, yeah, they've been able to provide great games for us to cast. So it was super fun to see the differences in this format, different strategies clashing into each other. No, it's been totally good fun to actually watch.
Yes. And now as we wrap up Warship Masters for the year, again a reminder for King of the Sea next, which will be played for its regional qualifiers, will be played on the 1st, 2nd, 8th and 9th of November, with the play-ins being on the 12th of November and the international playoffs being played on the November 15th, 16th, 22nd and 23rd. We've picked these dates because clan battles will end before them. Thanksgiving is after, so to make sure that as many players from all the teams as possible can take part. We obviously don't want to overlap with any major holidays in any of the major nations and such. And so the play-ins are optional to ensure that the best 8 teams per region will be able to qualify. Obviously more details will follow closer to when the tournament goes live, and each team will play at least 2 days of the tournament. So if you've got your friends, your clanmates, you might want to start thinking about the sort of early and mid-November for the next King of the Sea, and as well as for anyone watching and such, can earn the very nice Colombo camo. If we can tease that again, please.
I mean, tease it, you mean show it at this point. It's not a teaser at this point. It's just full on display of this beautiful camo.
It doesn't show everything it does. It's a tease.
Fair enough, fair enough. The sand on the deck reminds me of the Summer Atlanta camo. It's a really old one at this point, but kind of give up this similar vibe.
Yes, I don't envy the modeler who had to put all the sand on.
Every grain. One
Every
after the
grain,
other.
one yes.
Obviously, grain by
Yes.
grain, naturally. Have a bit of a mosaic texture as well on the whole.
Every grain is historically accurate.
No, great camo that you can obviously, take home. And yeah, what else do we have? So that's basically, quick overview for King of the Sea. So that's going to be happening in November. Teams will be preparing for that. Obviously now a bit of a break from tournament play until then. But yeah.
the classic format, 9v9, tier 10, as you remember in the past. But obviously, last but certainly not least, we do have to give a special thank you to all of the staff, all the coordinators, adjudicators, referees, our mod creators, and all of that. And so, like, we'd like to, I guess, if we want to, as we agreed.
Yeah, I can start with the coordinators that we had for the WM tournament, which was Estusian, Mjester, Finkso, Vram, Fries, Oceanless, Mini Hannibal, Lemon Eagle, the Azure, and Tier 10 CV Aquila. So obviously, big thanks to all of you guys.
Yes. And also thank you to the adjudicators, Xerneos, Suikatsu, M. Dragic, Tio, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mega Gallade, Roly Leo, Killsteel, Tenju, Ushtadi, Admiral Quirt, Felix Argyle.
Moving on to the referees, these are the guys making sure the tournament runs smoothly and no rules are broken. Index, I believe, is 2DX, The Lost Dane, Shokaku Kawaii, Paplet, Felix Wuling Fei, 858673992, Fluffy QWQ, Bob Boberson, Quincy OVO, Shame Maru Aya, TZZ27, Twinkle Chiao, Coincidence, Yamashiro42, Floppy Z, Moan Okiel, Florindi 1, Probabilistic, Sonic GR, Wolfman85A, Cremoa, and Ouija, please buff Bourguignon.
Bourguignon, that's an interesting term. And of course, a special thanks to Titaro, Captain Stewie, and Trackpad. Additionally, I would like to thank the entire video team in the Belgrade office right now, the sound team, all the people in the background of the stream, Seraphice as an organizer. And, well, thank you, Zuikatsu, thank you, Blood Legends, for joining us in the Belgrade office for this weekend, and thank you for your excellent casting and analyzing of these games. That was really entertaining to watch.
Bazinga Flux, who put a lot of this together.
Yes.
And obviously, like, again, thank you to our video team. You can't see them, but the people who who put together this wonderful set for us, doing all the live replays and cuts and edits and such. Several of them are in the room with us, and as well as rest of the team putting stuff together elsewhere. So without them, this would not be anywhere near as crisp and clean as it could be.
It would be unbearable to watch with our camera skills, Zoe. Like that would be horrendous, right?
So again, it's always a major thanks to those people behind the scenes, from staff to the video team, our modelers who put together the Colombo camo, the special maps and all of that. Without them, none of this would be possible. So again, thank you to everyone involved in putting this together. We're just pretty faces in front of a camera at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And thank you, of course, the viewers at home for watching, and I hope you had a good time and entertaining tournament here.
Final thank you to all the teams who participated as well. The 12 teams that we had on the official cast, the top 4 obviously coming home with their nice grand prizes of cash, and then all the teams who participated, the top 8 from each region being whittled down to a final one. Again, congratulations to TWA for their victory here in Warship Masters, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you come back for King of the Sea later this year.
Looking forward for that.
Absolutely. Should be a lot of fun. Be a bigger tournament, brighter tournament, and who knows, maybe we'll even get through it without anything breaking.
The winners of the code we shared today will be announced on
Thursday's European
in the stream.
update stream. Because obviously for World of Warships, this is our 14.8, is our 10th year anniversary update with all of the cool items and stuff you can get, from premium ship containers that give doubloon compensation, super containers, unique commander containers, the new Japanese tier 10 cruiser Kushiro. There's a lot of stuff to get it to, as well as carrying on all the doubloon and steel and GQ Johnny you can do right now. So absolutely make sure to keep an eye on what's going on in the game for up until Christmas, because we've got a lot of cool stuff and you will not want to miss out on any of it. So thank you from every one of us here in Belgrade. Again, thank you to the video team, our adjudicators, our refs, our coordinators, our mod makers and website managers. And again, thank you everyone for watching. We hope you have a lovely evening, morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you again later in November. Thank you very much.